They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, bro?
What's on?
On today's show, we're going to be talking about we have lots of different topics today. We're going to be talking anywhere from Final Fantasy to Dying Light to Hasbro, from Transformers to Path of Exile, to Disney World, to Xbox's, what Game Pass is actually making, or maybe not actually making, but more of a close range of what they're making based on the numbers they have given us. We're going to talk about Activision, what they could be doing exclusively-wise once they get picked up by Microsoft. We're going to talk about the Xbox Series S a little bit, if it's causing problems. We have a Control developer explains why the Xbox Series S is a problem for devs. And then we're also going to talk about Baldur's Gate 3, just launched today. It's doing wonders. I think it's over 300,000 concurrent players today over on just Steam. But it's also not coming to the Xbox until next year, 2024, and it's kind of because of the Xbox Series S. Not kind of, it is because of the Series S. We're going to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're going to talk about a little thing that's happening in Diablo. We're going to talk about Rumor Mill, with Gotham Knights, Red Dead Redemption, and also Transformers Reactivate as well, and Call of Duty. And then we'll end it with some Battlefield talk, and then Q&A at the end of the show. If you guys like what we do here, please make sure you hit that like button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, you hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to be a member for as little as $5, it all helps us out. We do this show on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, anywhere a podcast can be heard. And you can also watch us here after the fact over on YouTube. And you can also, I believe these shows also go, or do I have that linked up? That's my other, never mind. I thought it went to the other, like Odyssey and stuff like that, but those are not linked up yet. But it also goes to Spotify. You can watch it visually, video and audio on Spotify as well. So let's go. Oh, where's my? Oh God, Sarge, all my stuff is missing here. Nope, that's not it. I'm missing my. Here it is. What we've been playing. Here we go. All right, Sarge. Been another week. What have you been playing?
Well, I've been messing around with my computer pretty much.
Well, that's true. We see your face, so you got your computer back. We see your face.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, besides the Division 2, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Right.
I did 1. I'm in the middle of 2 right now. I think I'm about maybe halfway through.
Are you picking up Baldur's Gate 3?
My problem is the same problem I'm having, is that I'm afraid that if I get Baldur's Gate 3 right now,
like
if I get Baldur's Gate 3 right now, I do not have enough time to play it because I have other obligations that I already have planned. And I know I'm going to want to play it. And if I start playing Baldur's Gate 3, then the other stuff I have is not going to get done. Then on top of that, okay, I don't see myself playing Baldur's Gate 3 if I did get it, like consecutively. I'd have to space it out.
Right, like,
and I know what game is coming.
right.
I know what game is coming that's going to suck the life out of everything, and I'm probably going to lose a friend over it. Like, I know what game is coming. So Baldur's Gate 3 for me, I think is just on hold right now. It's just on hold because there's just too much other things going on and I don't have enough time to play it. However, in order to keep my RPG brain still busy, I am playing the Bard's Tale trilogy remake that was released like 2 or 3 years ago. Because it's from the golden days of when I played our action RPGs or RPGs on the
Right,
computer.
right.
And so some of you may not know what it is, some of you may know what it is. And so if you want to know what it is, it's basically a text-based grid paper type thing, and you have to use you're using your imagination for most of it. But the story was good, the little drawings are good, and it brings back fond memories of my first time playing it. And the good news is I don't have to use graph paper. It has an auto map feature now,
Ooh,
which I think
nice.
is the most amazing. It's the most amazing thing ever. Instead of having to map out a dungeon on graph paper, it auto maps for you. It's pretty amazing. The game isn't that long. You have to. There's a high learning curve for people who don't understand how to play it. You'll die a lot. But once you get over once you get over the curve, the game gets a lot easier. Maybe it's like if you rush it, maybe it's like a 20, 30-hour game, maybe. But there's 3 of them, and you can transfer your characters from one to the next. And so it's a cool game to keep me busy. Um, Otherwise than that, there's just too much other stuff going on right now. Way too much. Way too much.
Uh,
I did like playing Division though. I don't know
yeah,
why.
Division's got that where every time you go back to Division, you feel good about going back to
Nice.
Division, right?
It's nice.
Hold on one second. There we go. All right. Yeah. So I've been playing a little bit this week. I played a game called Oxenfree 2, which was the sequel. It's called Oxenfree 2 Lost Signal. I have it on my channel. Let me bring it up real fast so I can show people what it is. I should have had this prepared, but I didn't because we're professionals here. But I put up a playlist of Oxenfree from the original from 2016. I loaded we weren't on YouTube then. We were on Twitch then, but I uploaded those up onto the actual platform so you guys can go watch my playthrough of the original Oxenfree back in 2016. And then this is what this looks like now. So this is Oxenfree. It's a story-based game, right? It's a story-based game. You go around trying to figure out what's happening. You have these radio signals. There's a lot of undertones of serious stuff, like people committing suicide, like people that have like head problems, just just depression. There's a lot going on with this game, and it's a really, really well done game. I actually like Oxenfree 1 better than 2, but I thought 2 was very good. It's a point and click game. It kind of reminds me of the old school Police Quest, King's Quest, like type of stuff.
Yep.
So it's a really nice story. The voice actors are very good in this. There's no combat. There's like no combat whatsoever in this. It's literally just based, you're playing, going through. You got to make decisions at certain things, and you can replay it because at the end they tell you what you completed or didn't complete, and they're comparing you to other people that have the game. Like 23% of the people picked this and 24% of the people picked that. You're trying to find all the little notes that are around the board and whatnot. But it's a nice little game. So we played that for it's around like six hours. You could beat it in like I would say 5 to 7 hours if you try to complete everything. It's a nice little game. So I've been playing that, or I played that for and you can watch the whole playthrough of Oxenfree 1 all the way to Oxenfree 2, part 1, part 2 for Oxenfree, part 1, part 2 for Oxenfree 2 over on our playlist on this channel right here. Other things I'm playing, we played Division. I like Division, and we were playing last night, and I don't really care about builds anymore in that game. That game is literally for me to log in, complete the season task, shoot shit while shooting the shit, right? Like, that's it. Right, it's just to get on with Sarge. We talked to Dean last night. He came in and joined us. One of the guys watching the show. He says he loves the show. He came in and played with us last night, and it was just fun.
I liked his build.
Yeah,
I liked his build.
His build was awesome. He went in, did he could tank stuff, and then he did that like force push type of thing that he was doing.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It looks like some kind of like Jedi force push. Is what it looked like.
But I just like playing that game and going through, and I don't want to like think about it. You know what I mean? It's just like go around, shoot stuff while shooting the shit. It should be called shooting the shit squared. I think that's what it should be called, right? Or cubed? No, squared. But yeah, we played a little bit of that. I also jumped back in for a split second, Sarge, like a blink of the eye this past weekend. I went to Path of Exile. That's right. You heard it correct. I went to Path of Exile on the console, and I was completely and utterly lost the entire time, right? Now, I've only put 7 hours into this game originally, and the last time I played it was like 4 years ago, okay? I logged back in, went into the game, and I didn't get off the one little area, okay? And I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I don't know where I'm going, because my brain was like in the Diablo state, okay? And I was just like, I want to get into this, but I can't. So I stopped. As quick as I turned it on, I was maybe in there for 10, 15 minutes. I was like, I'm good. And I turned it off. Then I played Diablo, right? Because I think did we have a show? No, I played Diablo. Did I talk about it last week? No, I didn't, because I got back last week, and then we had a show, and then I played Diablo this past weekend. So Diablo 4 is done for me. I've lost complete and utter, like, the
for real, though? Like, you're not going to play it? For real?
Like, I'm done.
For real?
Yeah, like, well, if I go back to Diablo, I'm only going to play the Eternal Realm, but I have no drive to play a character in the Eternal Realm because there's no reason to, right? And the season, I played for 3 hours, right? 3 hours. I got to level 15 or 17, something like that. I just couldn't do it. Like, it was the same. Like, you're doing the tasks to progress the season. Like, it says do chapter 1 and chapter 2. You got to go to these certain dungeons and do the dungeons. Then you're finding these malignant hearts and doing all this stuff. And I was just like, yeah, I do not like this loop. I don't like the loop. It just did not hook me whatsoever. The carrot didn't do anything for me. And I said, I think I'm done. Like, I literally visually said it out loud. I'm playing by myself. I wasn't streaming. I was playing the game, and I go, I think I'm done, out loud, like I was live on the air to myself, and I was just like, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it, and I don't want to say I hate what it is. I'm just not digging what this season is, right? So I got my money's worth already.
All that it's called is called wisdom at this point.
Sure, right?
That's all that is. Because if you just here's cut and dry. If they had just made a game and sold the game, there'd be nobody complaining.
Yeah,
there'd be nobody complaining. Instead, there's this process and this system, and this thing you have to follow and do what I say when I say it. Not about you deciding I'm going to have some fun and play Diablo today. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. You have to follow the rules in order to dictate when fun starts. And once you start to see that kind of thing, you're like, I don't care. I just don't.
Water says, U30, you have to leave the area, man. That's when it starts to open up. Are you talking about Diablo? But it doesn't open up. It's the same dungeons that I played before in the Eternal Realm, right? The only difference is I'm fighting a guy, and then he drops a malignant heart, and then I click the malignant heart, and then another guy comes, and then I kill that guy, and I'm doing the same thing just to level up a character again, just so I can do what? What? Right? I don't care about the season, and I really don't care about the battle pass, but if the battle pass is attached to the season, I really don't care about the story that much. And if I could just do the battle pass with any character, I think I might go back and do what I do in Division, right? Division, I play once a week, right? With Sarge. We missed 3 weeks in a row. I'm like level 22, 23 in this season pass, right? Doing bare minimum stuff with my character that's 5 years old, right? And Diablo, I gotta start over again, and I just lost the drive. So I'm not gonna say I'm never going back again. I'm just not going back this season. So means that Season 2 comes out, November, probably? So I'm going to wait to see what happens in Season 2, and maybe if there's some cooler stuff, but if it's the same loop, instead of Malignant Hearts, it's Malignant Armor. Tumors, whatever, then I think I'm good. You know what I mean? So I just stopped, and this is me not shitting on Diablo 4. I played 160 plus hours. I enjoyed the game. If you're going to pick up the game and you want to play just the story, if you're a person that doesn't own Diablo yet, and you buy it now and play the story while you're playing the season, I think you're going to like it, right? Because there's a lot other stuff to do. You're going to level up faster than I did when I played the Eternal Realm, okay? Because you're going to feel stronger because of the stuff they put in the season. So I think those people will have more time. I think I burnt myself out before the actual season started, and I'm kind of just like in limbo world for that, right? So, and then the last thing I played it last night after Division, after I got off the stream. I played one match of Starship Troopers. They just did an update with Starship Troopers where you have a progression thing now, or progress to show how many kills you have total and how many things you what stats you have with certain gear and certain classes. And they have a horde mode, and the horde mode is just build up the base.
Horde mode?
No, but this is like build up the base, and then they attack you, and then your base gets destroyed, and then everyone has to work together building the base again, and then you have to do the next wave, and each wave gets harder and harder and harder, and you have to see how long.
Do I get to build new stuff, or is it the same 18 blocks and that's it?
What do you mean build new stuff? As far as
can I build more weapons? If you're gonna keep sending more stuff at me, can I build more weapons?
Yeah, they added turrets and stuff a couple patches ago, I think. So
okay.
It's the same things, but it's pretty interesting. So you have to work and you have to spread out of the base, grab the stuff and bring it back so you can withstand each wave getting harder and harder.
Right, I got you.
It was fun. But it's simplistic still. But yeah, so they did an update there, and that's everything. I think that's everything I've been playing. I don't think I've been playing anything else. So that's what we've been playing. So now let's go to top stories. Oh, we're getting an echo because of the thing. I get it, but all right. So the first story I want to talk about, Sarge. First story I want to talk about is that people said that Final Fantasy will never come to Xbox, right? Never. It'll never come to Xbox, and then it happened, right? Then it happened. So, but here's the thing. I talked about this on, I think, Monday's show, if I'm not mistaken. Monday's show that we do at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Thursday. I don't think this is going to be like this big hurrah that everyone thinks it's going to be, right? Like all of a sudden Final Fantasy games are going to sell like 10 million copies or anything like that, right? I think what they've done here is that Square Enix finally woken up from their coma of their MMO is one of the best MMOs that they've ever created in the history of MMOs, right? Final Fantasy 14 is one of the most popular MMOs out there. Okay. And they said, we're bringing that to Xbox. Okay. Now, I think they haven't announced this. They haven't said anything. I think they're going to bring to Game Pass, right? And then there's certain people said, I don't think they're going to bring it to Game Pass. And I said, oh, yeah, they're bringing it to Game Pass, right? Because not to say you can't buy Final Fantasy 14 not on Game Pass, right? You could go out and buy the game on Xbox, just like you can go buy Starfield. Okay. But you can also pay the monthly fee for Final Fantasy 14 for online, right? But if they include it into Game Pass, they can give that first game away, like the main game, for free, and then they could charge DLCs, sort of like Elder Scrolls does, right? And then they have the cosmetic shop and stuff like that. So that's going to open it up to 20 million more potential people that could play Final Fantasy on Xbox, right? So that's what Square Enix is doing, right? And as far as like the other Final Fantasy games, we saw in the past when Final Fantasy, what was it? Was it 15 with the boy band? It was 15, right? With the boy band? Or was it 13? It was 15, right?
Boy band's 15.
15. So we saw the sales of it. It was like a third of what they sold on PlayStation, right? Because people that like Final Fantasy are already on PlayStation, right? If you know, it's been out there for decades, right? So everyone that's a Final Fantasy fan knows that Final Fantasy is on PlayStation. Very few people are on Final Fantasy on Xbox because they're like, it's never there. So people that are huge fans of Final Fantasy probably already own a PlayStation to play Final Fantasy. Now, the new people, because I was one of the people that thought Final Fantasy sold a lot more than it did, and we looked it up a couple weeks ago, and it's like a niche community, right? It's like a niche community, 5 million, 10 million people out of 200, 300 million potential people, and Xbox is now trying to, they didn't go out and buy them, right? They just said, hey, we want to team up and whatnot. So they said that going forward that they are partnering with them. They're doing Final Fantasy 14, and they're going to partner with Square Enix for future games as well. Now, this is a big win for Xbox, and it's not a good win for PlayStation, because PlayStation, this was a big thing for them, having Final Fantasy only on PlayStation. So it's not going to come out until 2024 for Final Fantasy 14 on the Xbox, but still, this is a big, huge step forward. But again, it's not going to wreck sales for PlayStation, I don't think, because again, the PlayStation population knows that Final Fantasy is on PlayStation. But I do believe that they're going to get, Square Enix is going to get a kick with more potential people that don't want to buy Final Fantasy, but they'll try Final Fantasy, especially if it's on Game Pass, right?
Well, as long as you get into the ecosystem.
Right.
Well, listen, when push comes to shove, all this really is Square Enix realizing that there's money left on the table. And we all know how game companies feel about money being left on the table, right? If there's a way to get a hold of it, they want it. So to say all of a sudden now, like you're trying to make us feel better, like, oh, it's for all the customers, right? Everybody, we're gonna bring Final Fantasy to Xbox because of the fans. No, you fucking aren't, right? You're bringing it to Xbox because you realize how much more money you can make if you just put it on Game Pass and have an influx of 42 million people decide to randomly come on and maybe try your game and then get into Square Enix ecosystem.
Right.
We know how this works,
right?
Don't pretend that you're doing it for the kindness of your heart or for the fans in Xbox who never got to play it because they didn't want to buy a PlayStation.
Right.
I don't want to hear any more of that nonsense, right? Good for you. You're going to bring back the Final Fantasies, the old ones included, and bring them onto Xbox slowly but surely. Probably going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's another thing they could do, right?
Or you can sell them. Well, let's see. What seems to be a better thing? Will Square Enix make a deal with Microsoft that if it goes on Xbox, they get a share of the money for that month or the 6 months
or whoever plays, a percentage of whoever downloads the game, right?
Or whoever plays. Or do they just release it on Xbox, hoping that there's just a group of people that want to spend money on old games for no apparent reason when I can just get them on Game Pass?
Right.
I wonder what we'll do.
Look, a lot of people are like, and I'm one of the people that doesn't like Game Pass for the industry, but the value is just uncomparable. And you can look at it two ways, right? You could say that Xbox, right? They're finally getting on board, Sarge. We've had this podcast, episode 359. Okay, around episode, I think it's like 140. I started talking about. Okay, it's probably like 140, 150 or whatever, right? So about 200 episodes ago, we do 40 a year. So let's count backwards, right? It's about 5 years ago, okay, I said that Microsoft is playing a different game. They're not playing the same old school sell consoles. They're selling Game Pass. Now everyone's finally getting on board, right? Digital Foundry's saying they don't care about hardware sales. They just care about Game Pass. Other people are saying, oh, everyone's on board, right? I was crazy, but now I'm still crazy. But I was crazy for saying that, but now everyone's on board with agreeing with it, going, yeah, they're not even trying to.
It's even more so now because of the numbers that came out. We were lowballing it apparently way too much.
Yeah, so we
were lowballing a lot, bro.
Let's go.
We had no idea that Game Pass was making that much money a month.
Well,
a month.
We had an idea, and we used to always say about 250, 300 million.
We lowballed it. We lowballed it.
So now we have. This is still rough. Let me make this bigger so people in the back can see. Okay, it says on the screen, it says Xbox Game Pass generates $400 million a month, right? We thought it was 250 to 300 mil. This is an extra 100 mil. Okay, so now we're talking like $4.8 billion a year, right? Yeah. Instead of the $2 billion a year we thought it was.
Yeah, for doing nothing, by the way, except running servers.
So with 25 plus million players, now we just assume we're like, I'll just say half or more, whatever. But it turns out that 70 to 80%, this is a little leeway here, 70 to 80% on Game Pass have Game Pass Ultimate. Okay. Out of the 25 million, 70 to 80% have Ultimate. Okay. Now that's between 17.5 and 20 million subs. Okay. Of the 25 million subs. Plus, we just don't know what that actual number is, right? So the monthly revenue based off of what Ultimate Game Pass Ultimate is, that makes a revenue of 300 to 340 million off Ultimate alone, right? So we were saying Game Pass was making what Ultimate's making by itself. Okay. Now, 20 to 30% of normal Game Pass players, which is around 5 to 7.5 million, okay? Monthly revenue is 55 to 82 million, right? So total, we're around $400 million a month, okay? Now, just to put that in perspective for some people, because some people don't understand how much $400 million is, okay? Grand Theft Auto 6 is rumored to be $2 billion, and that took 8 years to make, okay? They can do that in 4 months. In 4 months' time, okay? 5 months' time, sorry. 5 months' time, they can pay off a studio of the caliber of Rockstar, okay, Rockstar Games, to make a Grand Theft Auto with 5 months. So halfway through the year, they can fund a company like Rockstar for 8 years to make a game like that, right? They could make 2 games, right? We saw a couple weeks ago that Last of Us cost $220 million. And Horizon cost $212 million. Combined, that's $432 million, and those took 4 to 5 years to make a piece, okay? Microsoft makes that in 1 month, right? And they can just go pay off a studio and do whatever they want with it, right? And obviously, that's not total profit. They have to pay for server space and stuff like that, but they're still making $4 billion a year. So, obviously, we as the people that like to, support like local food shops because they grow the corn in their backyard, right? And they feed their chickens and stuff grain, so we feel better about ourselves, and the GMO, right? That's how gamers are with, well, I like to see a studio that gets grown by the studio itself. So when Sony buys a studio, they fluff it up, and then Microsoft's like, fuck that. We're just gonna buy a company, okay? And if we don't buy the company, we're gonna throw cash at them to put their game on our Game Pass, right? And that's what they do. That's what they do. They're just like, yeah, we don't need to buy every company, but we're going to throw money at them and go, hey, Final Fantasy, we want you on Game Pass, right? We're going to throw some money at you. What's your price? And they could be $30 million. They're like, okay, great. That's just a couple of people that get Game Pass, right? And they push that Game Pass, right? So much so, with this number, with the 25 million, the new Game Pass core, Sarge, they're taking everybody that was a gold member, and they're just sliding them over to be a Game Pass low member tier. Now, PlayStation did this when it was PlayStation Plus, or I'm sorry, PlayStation Now, and now it's PlayStation Plus, right? I think that's what it was. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was PlayStation Now, and now it's PlayStation Plus, right? And they took all those people, and then voila, they had 50 million people that were subscribers to PlayStation Plus, right? Microsoft didn't do that before. They just said that you have to pay for Game Pass, you have to pay for Ultimate, you got to pay for regular. Now they're combining it. They're putting a bulk thing. So they're going to have the same type of thing that PlayStation Plus now has with different tiers. Game Pass Core, I think is what it's called. They're just moving those people over, and now that number, that 25 million that we know of, is probably going to go up to about 30 to 35 because we don't know how many people had gold that are moving over, right?
Well, you had to have something. You had to have had one or the other, because you're getting games, you're having online service. You had to have one of those.
Right.
So it just makes the core number go up, so they can have that on the books. That's all.
Akuta Papa says, to throw off that statistic, I'm still on gold until the change happens. Sure, that's what I'm talking about, though. They're taking that core and then moving you guys over. So if you opt out, you opt out. But if you don't opt out, you're just automatically that Game Pass.
Welcome to Game Pass.
Right. So now you look at this, right? Now you look at this rumor that's happening right now because Starfield. Have you heard anything about Starfield at Gamescom, Sarge? Have you seen any of the problems that are happening with Starfield?
I stopped after that after that big whole 45-minute reveal during Keeley Fest and that whole time, I stopped looking because I now want the game to speak for itself.
Right.
I'm not listening. I'm not listening to anything else. Right. And here's the difference. Right. Normally, I'll usually be listening all the way up until the point of release date because I'm curious to know if I want to get it day one or not get it day one and just wait. Like in my mind, if I waited 6 years for a game to come out, but it comes out broke and and they'll fix it 2 years later, then I'll just wait 8 years for a complete game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna buy the broken game, bitch about it for 2 years, and then not play it anymore after they fix it because I've already decided I've already spent enough time on your broken game, and now I'm done with you. Right?
Right.
This has the unique, and I'm being very serious. Not enough people are talking about this. This game has the unique ability to be a non-purchasable AAA title just from you having Game Pass. You'll get to play day one if you feel like it.
Right.
Or you play it whenever you feel like it
Well, this is
without you having to buy it.
so the news that's coming out is because Gamescom's happening and Xbox is going to have, or Microsoft's going to have the biggest booth they've ever had at Gamescom, right? But two games that are not going to be a playable demo is the new Forza Motorsports and Starfield, right? And
you know why?
well, I look at this. Well, I know why. It's because it's on Game Pass, right? And they
Not
have
the
other.
only reason.
No.
They want to control
No, but
who has the game.
yeah, but listen to this. It could happen and be like the next Cyberpunk. Let's say worst case scenario, right?
Maybe.
Cyberpunk didn't have a demo when it was out, right? They had closed doors. They brought the people in that wanted to show the game, and then they had the trickle effect go out and say, "Oh, it's an awesome game. It came out," and then it got destroyed when it hit console. It was great on PC, right? I think we might get the same effect of this, but I don't think that's the reason it's at Gamescom or not at Gamescom as a playable demo.
I'm not
right?
trying to be I'm not doing
No, no.
conspiracy stuff.
I'm being serious.
They have to control the flow of information the best
Sure,
that
but
they
it's only a
can.
week before, right? It's only a week before the game is supposed to launch. So my thing is, I
A
think
lot of damage can be done in a week from journalists, bro.
Sure.
A lot of damage.
sure, right?
So
But at the same time, it's on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
And so they look at people and go, "All right, well, if we put a demo together, it kind of overshadows everything else at the show, correct?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Starfield would overshadow everything for the public at that show. So
That's a good reason, I guess. Go
right?
ahead.
So at Gamescom, they don't want to show Starfield because they did a 45-minute thing at over the summer to show what Starfield is, right? And if you're interested, you don't have to have any money down except for $10 to get Game
Yes.
Pass, right?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So they don't want to
Yes.
put it in the public eye where people do demos because that's all everyone's going to talk about. Now, there's closed doors where people can actually play test it or whatnot, and people are going to sign NDAs to talk about it. Reviewers are going to come out. Now, I'm not defending Starfield for not being at Gamescom playable demo, but what I'm saying is they're going to control the media just like they do with any other game. And they're going to control it because Starfield is the flagship game, not for Xbox, but for Game Pass.
Right, but in this instance, you have to look at it where they win either way, right? Because it's on Game Pass, right? And it's not, and I don't mean this to say as an incorrect fact here. It's not purchasable in the eyes of the industry.
The majority of the population.
Right. You have the ability to play a AAA title without forking over any money.
Well, $10,
right?
$10.
No, you're not. Because you already have Game Pass.
If you don't
have Game Pass,
if you don't have Game Pass, it's $10.
Okay, whatever. I'm looking at the 50 million people that do, not counting the ones that are going to actually try it out for a month just to try fucking Starfield. Right? Because of this, if they control the information, whether the game is good or bad, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This will not, listen, even if there's a tragic thing that happens that makes it almost like Cyberpunk, it won't be, because there's no backlash from people who have not spent any money on it.
Right.
You already have the apparatus that allows you to play the game. This is why this is going to be so twisted on so many levels. The numbers will be skewed. How many people did play it? How many people actually bought it? Like, they can make up whatever they want. There will be no facts for probably 6 months about what is actually happening,
like how big,
with the popularity of what Starfield is. Because they can say 75 things and it'll all be true. It was the most played game this week. It had the most people watching it this week. Most people bought it this week, but they didn't really buy it. They just have Game Pass, so they inadvertently bought it. Like, you see what I mean?
I know.
Look,
right.
Once again, I stopped looking, and I'm trying to be calm about this because I just find the precedent that's about to be set is going to change. It's going to change data and numbers for gaming forever, because you're not going to know. The entire narrative is controlled by them.
Right, because you don't know how many they sell until they tell you the number they sell, right? You're only going to know the concurrent players on Steam if people buy it on Steam, okay? You're not going to know the numbers on Game Pass. They could literally make up a number and say 30 million people.
They could say whatever they want.
They could say whatever they want, right? I truly believe the reason there's no demo there, though, is they don't want to take the spotlight away from the other games that are going to be at Gamescom. Starfield, regardless, because Starfield is the game that's so polarized right now, they don't need to advertise, right? Like, everyone knows that Starfield's coming out, right? Everybody knows. So people are like, well, they're not even marketing it. It comes out in a month. They're not even marketing it.
They are marketing,
but they're not.
I see adverts for it all the time.
But they're not marketing it as like they would like other game in the past, right? But
like the Blitzkrieg.
But you know what they are marketing like Blitzkrieg.
Game Pass,
right? That's
every day.
That's what you see, right? And this is what I've been saying for years. It doesn't matter. It's almost like an actor in a movie is no longer an actor in a movie, right? You're not going to go see a Sylvester Stallone movie anymore. You're seeing the character that they're playing in the movie, right? Like, you want to go see Iron Man, like a Marvel movie or whatever. You're not seeing Robert Downey Jr. in his next movie type of thing, right? That's what's happening with video games in the Xbox ecosystem, right? It's not about Starfield coming out or Halo coming out. It's about Halo's on Game Pass. Starfield's on Game Pass. Forza Motorsports is on Game Pass. All these things are on Game Pass. That's what they're selling. They're selling Game Pass. They're not selling Starfield. They're selling Game Pass. If you come in and you want to come into Game Pass for Forza Motorsports, and then you're tired of Forza Motorsports, and you're like, oh, what else is on there? You might go play Sea of Thieves. You might go play Starfield. And if you come in with Starfield, you're like, I'm kind of done with Starfield. You want to go see what else is on Game Pass, right? This is the ecosystem they want you in. They don't care if you pay $70 for the one game.
The product is no longer the video game. The video game is the reason for the product.
Correct.
Right? That's where we are. Right? That's where we are. And this is a very unique situation. Right? And this is why I feel zero FOMO. I don't feel any pressure at all.
No.
And the game could suck. Completely suck day one.
Right.
And it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter because you would come back 6 months from now.
Because they would. This is the best thing ever, right? This is the best thing for Bethesda ever. If Starfield releases the same way that Fallout 76 does, then Starfield still wins by default because it has its place already.
Correct.
Fallout 76 had to earn its spot. Starfield just is there.
Right. Yeah. Like,
it doesn't matter.
Worst case scenario, if it becomes Redfall, which it won't, let's be honest. It's not going to be Redfall. But if it's like Redfall, in a couple of months, people will come back and play it because they're still on Game Pass, right? And the people that leave Game Pass will come back because there's going to be a game down the line that Microsoft will pay for, third party, to come to Game Pass, right? So much so, right? So much so that...
Why wouldn't they?
Right. So... Yeah, let me read chat for a second. McClusky says that the mostly likely polishing the game, making demos would take a valuable time. No, I don't think that's the reason. I don't think the polishing or making a demo...
You would already have it if you wanted
They already have a demo for the people behind the closed doors, right? They already have a demo for the people behind closed doors that might do a capture event, and then they'll show you that footage or whatever, if they can show their footage, okay? So I don't think that's the reason, right? In any way, shape, or form. I truly believe that Starfield is like the Grand Theft Auto 6. The syndrome of Grand Theft Auto 6 is when Grand Theft Auto 6 announces when it's coming out, everybody moves out of the way, right? And and Starfield right now, just because of the persona of what Starfield is, because it's Bethesda, right? Regardless if you like Bethesda or not, when they come out with a game, people are like, oh shit, they're coming out with their next game. People have been expecting this game and hyping this game for years, and now it's just a month away, right? So they don't want that game to overshadow everything else. Hence why they made it separate from the other Xbox event. It was the Xbox event, here's all these other games, and then they did a 45-minute Starfield. Okay, that's how big this game is. Name another game that did a 45-minute separate from everything else to show you what was in the game. I'll wait. There wasn't one.
Okay, but look. Even if, and I don't want this to happen, right? Even if Starfield is like Redfall, okay? It doesn't matter. The studio is paid. They're already working on the next game that they want to make, right? The whole purpose for Starfield is for you to be on Game Pass.
That's it.
Right? The game could blow up after week 1. It wouldn't matter. They still get to put the sign on the door that says Starfield is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So if you feel like it, you can play it. Right? Paid. Like, they're not concerned that they're not going to make the rent or keep the lights on. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me read.
It doesn't matter.
Let me read what Lurker's saying.
This is why this is so profound. Right? In the next month, gaming's going to change how they sell shit forever.
Right, because if it's successful, then it changes the game. Right? And if it doesn't change the game, or if it's not successful, it's just Game Pass. Yeah, exactly.
Then the game after that will.
So Lurker says, I hear everything you guys are saying, and you are correct. But isn't it sad for all of us that a game can suck and it won't matter? Yes.
1,000%, Lurker. Yes,
this is what we've been saying.
Means any asshole with 6 people who want to scam people to make a game can, as long as they have an elevator pitch that lets Microsoft put them on the goddamn system.
Right. Like this is what I've been saying. This is why
there's no more cream rises to the top. They just fucking throw the cream away and they buy a cow. They don't care.
Starfield is
it's terrifying.
Starfield is in a different position because it's like 8 years in the making, right? So I don't want to say my example.
Hang on, it's 8 years in the making, and they were biting their nails down to the nubs until Microsoft bought them, and they were like, home free, free as
I don't think they were home free because they really wanted to make it for PlayStation as well, right? There was a PlayStation.
Bro.
We know there was a PlayStation version.
It'll come out for PlayStation when they feel like it. After the smoke clears, they'll get their thing, and they get it.
Sure.
Just like Destiny gets to release the other thing on Xbox after a year, you'll get the strike. We promise. Right? Same shit.
Here's the thing. What I'm saying about Starfield, it's a weird one because it's 8 years in the making. After this happens, other games that come out that take 2 years, 3 years to make, they can literally just throw those on Game Pass. And this is why I'm talking about Game Pass is wonderful for value for gamers, but it's bad for the industry, right? Horrible. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. When Netflix first came out, it had to strive to put original content on there to get people to pay the money, right? But then if they don't keep those numbers, there's a saturation point. And if they don't hit that saturation point, they're just throwing money at stuff, and they have to fill it up because people are coming to watch original content. And they put the back catalog. They pay other studios to license other videos to put onto Netflix, but they have to get original stuff, right? Original stuff to put on Netflix. Well, it becomes too expensive to keep throwing $250 million at each project that they have, and they can't substantially keep that going year after year after year after year. So they have to bring down the quality of the shows. Right? That's why when you go on Netflix, they have a shit ton of original comedy specials. They have original documentaries. They have original reality shows because those are low, cheap fruits to hit so they can keep the content coming out. So taking that example, once Game Pass hits that saturation point, they can't afford to get games like Starfield coming out all the time. So they throw money
They don't need to.
Right. So they throw money at these third-party games to come out to keep Game Pass going. And the original games, the first-party title games, because they want them to come out, and they already said they want one a quarter, right? One every quarter. It's hard for them to keep it going. This is why they need at least like 28 studios. It takes 4 years to make a game, and it's this whole cycle. They have it all planned out of how many studios they need.
They only need 2 or 3 games a year.
They said they wanted 4. They want 1 a quarter. 2 major games and 2 smaller games of first-party titles.
They are making AAA entire budgets in a month.
Correct. Double.
In a month.
Double.
It doesn't matter, right? This is the issue. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get studios that now make a shitty game and then go the fuck away and they get a job at Walmart. They're going to keep making shitty games until they make a game that's worth putting on Game Pass. Like, I guess you could say it's a good thing, but you don't raise the level or the bar of the industry if you allow the shit just to exist because it's okay.
Right. Real quick, Bacon says no one will pay money for Starfield after day 1 and the reviews come out. That's not true. Well, first of all,
paying for it?
There's a ton. I say there's at least 3 to 5 million people that will pay for Starfield because of the collector's editions and whatnot. Right.
What are you going to do? You're going to get the collector's edition then return it? Is that what you're going to do?
No, but I think there'll be 30 million people playing the game, right? But 5 million people own the game. And 5 million is nothing to shake at, but there's also the other 30 million that didn't pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, but if you guys even look at Baldur's Gate 3 right now, that is a PC game. That is a 100% PC game. What is I know it was at 300,000. What are they at right now?
Let me throw this at you, right?
All right, throw it at
This is not gonna make sense to anyone at all. I'm just gonna throw some numbers out because just to show you how this could just be valued, right? Let's say after the first month, right, of playing Starfield, half the people who bought the game hate it, right? Half the people who bought it, let's say 5 million people bought it, 2.5 million people gave it the finger and said, I want my fucking money back, right? However, after the first month, right, Microsoft just totals up all the hours spent in game. They figure out how long the game was, right? If it's a 100-hour game, how many 100-hour games are in there? Right? They figure it out. They give those people the money back. Done. We've already the people who have played the game, right? They've already made the money for the amount of hours played that those people want their money back. So it won't matter.
Right.
Like at all. They'll just, yeah, you want your refund? Here you go.
Here's an example.
No problem.
Here's an example. Baldur's Gate 3. 471 all-time peak. It came out today. This is huge. This is huge numbers, right? This number, even if it hits 1 million today or concurrent of all time, right? You would assume that all-time peak is 1 million people concurrently playing the game, right? And let's just say there's 3 million people that bought the game. If that's Starfield on PC, fantastic. 3 million people. How many people are playing Starfield that didn't play the game, which would be 10 times larger than the people that bought the game? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, fantastic. Like, you could have your number, and PC players will buy the game, but it's not going to be in the millions. It's not going to be like 5 million people on PC buy Starfield. That's not going to happen.
But why? Okay, I know this. I know I'm talking to a wall at this point. even if I'm on PC, right? I have Game Pass. Why am I buying Starfield? Just tell me.
Because you're a fan of space. You're a fan of space. You're a fan of collecting stuff. You're a fan of the collector's edition. That's why you would buy it. That's why you would buy it.
Okay, but I don't have to buy it day one.
Nope. You don't have to buy it day one.
I could play Starfield for 300 hours and then think about buying it because I have Game Pass. Right? This is why I'm trying to explain to you guys. This is going to fundamentally change the way we're looking at AAA titles, especially in the hands of Microsoft, because it won't matter.
I want to show some sales numbers from Bethesda games on PC, because people in chat think that they're going to sell millions and millions of copies on PC, right? So all-time peak of Skyrim, the special edition, is 69,000. Okay, let's go to another one. Let's go to the other Skyrim, the one that originally came out, right? Let's see. We got is this the original Skyrim right here? We have 90,000 for that. Let's go to Fallout 3, right? Fallout 3, right? That's a PC one. Let's see what they got. That's the Game of the Year edition. They had 10,000. Okay, let's go to Fallout 3, the original. That's got 2,000. Let's go to I don't know. Let's go to Fallout 4. Right, Fallout 4. Fallout 4 had 471,000 all-time peak. Okay, so I don't know where certain people get like they're gonna sell millions and millions of copies to PC. Like PCs is a huge player base, but yet it's a very niche community when it comes to certain games. And Starfield is a space game, which is a wide open game, which is gonna be boring for a lot of people. It's like a Western. Okay, a lot of people are like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to explore. Okay, and they're not gonna buy it. The people that are gonna buy it are gonna be, I would say, I'll give them $1 million. I'll give them $1 million. Okay, but there's still going to be 10 times more people that didn't buy it because $10 Game Pass. That's it, right? That's it to play it early. But that number is going to be this. That's it. It's a shoebox of the same amount of people that bought the game day one to play it early. That's going to be a small niche community, and everybody else is going to wait for Game Pass. Everybody else is going to wait for Game Pass.
Well, here's the best. Here's the best thing you're going to do. Well, you're going to wait till after the first month's over, and you're going to see how many people actually bought it on PC. It won't be hard. It won't be hard.
Right. Well, Krebsy, I also didn't say specific people in chat. I just said people in general, talking about people on Twitter, talking about people in Discord, people that are delusional, thinking that they're going to sell like 5 million copies to Steam, and that's the people that are going to buy the game, right? Majority, again, listen to the words, majority of the people will not be buying Starfield. Those are facts. Those are facts. There will be 30 million people that will try Starfield, and 4 million of them will have bought it.
Right. That's why it's a gamble, right? But only a gamble in terms, not actual money lost.
Right. No, it's not money lost.
Right. Right, because Bethesda has gotten paid. We're just waiting to see how many people want to play Starfield, and then after that, how many people actually want to buy it.
Right.
Like, actually buy it.
Well, you would only buy it if it ever left Game Pass. And it's not going to leave Game Pass because it's a first-party title.
But I'm using this as the precedent because other people do this to every other game. But somehow this game is different, right? Everybody else plays games on Game Pass because they don't want to buy it. They love the game. They played 300 hours, 400 hours of this game. They love it. It's on Game Pass. But Did they buy it? No. And their answer is, why do I need to buy it? It's on Game Pass. Right. I'm using the same logic with a AAA title. And the chat is saying, well, people are going to buy it. I don't know.
No shit, people are going to buy it. One person could buy it and the chat would be correct. Yes, people are going to buy it.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying nobody's going to buy it. What I'm saying is
the majority.
The numbers will be so skewed that it won't. First of all, it doesn't matter. That's number one. Number two, if I can play a AAA title without giving you $70 after the wasteland of games that has come out over the last 5 years, how all these AAA games are broken, busted, glitched, don't work, just trash, and people have paid full price, collector's edition price levels, and the game is crap on day one. You have a AAA title now that you don't have to pay for at all. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, we're gonna buy it. I'm like, why? Why would you roll the dice? Like, come on, 7. Like, what are we talking about? You have the ability to play a AAA title without handing over $70 to see if you actually like it. And then if you like it, you'll buy it.
Yeah.
This is not the same as every other game that's come out.
Nope.
It's not the same.
Nope. Well, Krebsy, you are kind of right or kind of wrong because there will be numbers, just not the numbers that we're used to, right? It won't say 5 million copies sold. It'll say 100 million hours played. It'll say 30 million players logged on or whatever it is. Right. That's what it'll say.
As a matter of fact, let's
3 trillion bullets shot. Right. That's what it'll say.
let's just do this now. Once the game releases,
Yep.
right? We're going to start listening to people talk about the game.
Yep.
We're going to start writing down the phrases that they're using because it's not going to be the same.
No. I mean, they've done this with games in the past, right? Like Diablo, they tell you how many hours people played.
Now,
they don't tell you how many. Right? Unless the number's big.
Now,
if the number's big enough for sales, then they'll tell you, they'll scream from the top of the hill. They'll be like, 10 million people played or bought the game, right? But they won't say bought. They'll say like sell or logged in.
Hours played is going to be a big one. Hours played. Oh, and unique logons.
Oh yeah,
that's another good one.
Yeah, it's a
unique logins.
Yeah,
over 30 million unique logins. Yeah.
They'll also do this. The game that's most played on Game Pass ever. That's what
the most played game ever. Yeah, that's another one going to come out.
That'll be another one that comes out, right?
Yep.
All right.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Speaking more of Game Pass here, right? More of Game Pass. So here's the whole story that happened within like a 3-day radius. Okay. So Hasbro came out and said, we would like Xbox or Microsoft to go to Activision and get the old games, Fall of Cybertron, Devastation, War of Cybertron, and they want this Transformers games on to Game Pass. That's what Hasbro wants, right? Because Hasbro's trying to rebrand. They want to really like sell G.I. Joe and Hasbro and
that's all I got because their guys
Transformers, D&D and stuff like that. They want it out there, right?
Yeah.
So they say that, well, they reached out to them and they lost the source code. And I said, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I said, they didn't lose the source code. I don't know where this is coming from. I said, that's bullshit. Okay. I have hard drive after hard drive, and I'm just a guy in my house. Okay. You can't tell me a multi-billion-dollar company that made games for companies is like, this right here, Sarge, this is Transformers, and we're done with it. And they just chuck it in a closet, right?
Right.
They take it and they move it into a vault. If the vault is an actual vault, or if it's a shelf or a filing cabinet or some sort of organization of these are the games we had, these are the source codes of all the stuff, there's no way in hell Activision's just like, yeah, we fucking lost it during the Bill Cosby days when we got sued for the Bill Cosby for the cube crawls, right? Like that's not happening. So Hasbro wants Microsoft and Xbox to bring back Activision Transformers games and whatnot, and Lulu, who was active during the FTC for Activision, she came out and said, these headlines are wrong. She didn't say fake. They're wrong, and we have the code. It's not lost and never was. I didn't think it was lost. It was just a funny title to be like, come on, bro. You didn't lose the source code for the game that you created. Someone paid you multi-hundreds of billions of dollars to make, and you just put it in. Well, we put it in this. I don't know what happened. Ted took the garbage out and we kind of lost the hard drive. You know what I mean? That's not happening. Okay. So within 3 days, they said they asked, they wanted it on today. They said, no, we don't have it. We lost the code. And then it came out and said, no, these headlines are wrong. We've had the code. It's not lost. We have the actual, so now we're talking about, let's bring up this, where is it? There's games that, here's what I think is going to happen, right? They paid $70 billion for Activision. Okay, $70 billion. Game Pass is the thing that they're trying to sell. They're trying to go for mobile.
Hold on, before you continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you say they bought them, right? Let's make it clear now. It's not that Microsoft just handed over $70 billion like this in a crane and deposited money. It's contracts over time, making payments. The $70 billion just didn't disappear from their coffers. Right. All right, continue.
Right. So the what's it called? So now they paid $70 billion for all of what Activision owns, the IPs, the games they've created, the old games that they could open up again and be like, hey. So there's rumors out there, and I've said this, they're going to make, I said tiers, I think about 2 years ago, right? And now they have Game Pass Core that's coming out. And I think certain things, because Microsoft has made it clear that they're looking for the mobile market and they're also looking for the PC market, right? And Ultimate is the higher end tier stuff that we just read to you, that they make $400 million overall, with 350 million coming from Ultimate, and they want that number up more. And we already know that more people have Ultimate on PC than they have just Game Pass regular, right? So Game Pass is one of the most significant assets It says contributes to overall success of the platform. There's also a total of 3 tiers of service on console among them. Game Pass Ultimate is the most popular. Around 70 to 80% of Game Pass users have subscribed to the highest tier. Following Microsoft ongoing acquisition and Activision Blizzard, reports hit that Activision games will be exclusive to Game Pass Ultimate. Now, listen to that, right? So they bought Activision for $70 billion, and they're going to take certain Activision titles and they're going to make sure that they're only in the Ultimate section because Blizzard is mostly a PC-based company, right? Overwatch is big on PC. Yeah, it was on console and whatnot, but Overwatch was based on PC. Starfield, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, lots of games that are known to be on PC are now going to be coming over to Game Pass Ultimate because that's on PC / regular console. Now, I talked about this a couple of months ago saying that I think once the deal goes through that they're actually going to make World of Warcraft, World of Warcraft on the console, okay? And this makes perfect sense as well because if you want to play Ultimate, you're paying for the higher tier, which is what, $16 now, right? So think about this. Now, obviously, none of this is yet happening. This is my theory of what's going to happen. They want more live service games on their platform. They look at games like Fallout 76. They look at games like Elder Scrolls Online. They're all on Game Pass, and they make a ton of money. There's a good community there. They keep making money based off of those. Okay, well, now they just added Final Fantasy 14 that comes out next year. They made that deal with Square Enix. I guarantee you that will be on Game Pass. And if it's not on Game Pass low tier, it'll be on Game Pass Ultimate at the higher tier, right? So then you're not paying the monthly fee for Final Fantasy 14, you're paying Game Pass, and then they get a percentage. If that's the only game you play, then that percentage of you just playing that game will mostly go towards Xbox or Final Fantasy for that, right? Now, World of Warcraft, they've already worked on it for controller schemes to get to work on it, right? Before they bought it. These was rumors and stuff that we talked about. And I think World of Warcraft, not only will it be on Game Pass Ultimate, it'll be on console at the Ultimate price where you can play it on the computer or you can play it on your console. Okay, I see this happening, right? You can mark this down. There's my fingers up against my head. I'm predicting this. Okay, I think World of Warcraft will in the next 2 years will come to Game Pass Ultimate, not Game Pass, but Game Pass Ultimate. This is exactly why they're doing the family plan thing. This is exactly why they're doing the Game Pass core thing. This is exactly why they're doing the stuff they're doing. This is why they spent $70 billion, so they could take certain games and put them behind a paywall, behind a certain thing, because you might like Game Pass, but even with the Ultimate title, if you get Ultimate, maybe they give you early access to other games that come out day and date.
You need a reason to get Ultimate.
Right.
Even if it's not the same reason as somebody else, you need to have several reasons why you want Ultimate. Maybe for me, the reason is Final Fantasy. Maybe the reason for Krebsy is a different game.
Right.
But it still gets you to the next level, so they still get that income in monthly.
Right. Which I think that's the play, right? I think that's the play to get those games on the higher tier. And you're like, well, what's the point of getting Ultimate, right? Where you're like, well, Ultimate, you can get MMOs, right? All the MMOs are on the Ultimate plan.
Well, I'm not talking too fast now.
Just an example.
Maybe that's the actual reason, right? Eventually, the reason to get Ultimate is all the MMOs are on Ultimate. So if you're an MMO guy, you're an Ultimate.
Well, yeah, because
right?
they have to cover the monthly fee, right?
Well, let's be honest, bro.
They are covering it. Yeah, I know.
The monthly fees for servers and whatnot. I know how this goes, but the money coming in versus the money going out for running servers that have old games on them, which is what Game Pass is, okay, is not a lot of money.
Right.
It's just not. Right.
Let me do a quick poll in chat, right? Not an actual poll, just to see just a one in chat. If World of Warcraft came to console, would you give it a shot? If yes, put 1. If no, put 2. Right? I think people would want to at least try it because they've never played it before. Right? Maybe
I want to see how it runs.
Right.
I want to see how
maybe
it runs
a lot of people haven't played World of Warcraft ever before, but now it's coming to console, and maybe they'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? I mean, if you already played World of Warcraft, you have it on PC. Go. Dupla says 3. All right, we'll put 3 for maybe. 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for
just
maybe.
To try it? Yeah, I want to see how it runs on an Xbox. Sure.
Yeah.
I want to see how it runs on an Xbox.
Dupla's made his own number. 3.
And by the way, I'm done defending the potato. I'm done. Right? We all know what the potato's for. I'm sure a third of the people that are involved in Game Pass have a potato, but I'm done defending it because all the potato does is stop the real Xbox people from getting games that they want because the rules are now in play that it has to work on both. And we know it's not going to work on both. So I'm done defending the potato.
McClusky, Final Fantasy does have a fee. So did Elder Scrolls Online, right? At ESO had a monthly fee at one point, and they got rid of it. And that was before Bethesda got bought by Microsoft, right? They dropped it, okay? The reason they can drop it, okay, and again, I don't know the back end of the deals that they have, right? But that's a first-party title now. As far as Final Fantasy goes, so if and I'm going to do this example in the film terms, okay? If an actor works in a film, and that film gets shown on, let's say, TNT, or gets shown on HBO, or gets shown whatever, gets sold in the store, the actor, the director, the studio gets a percentage based on where they see it, right? They get paid on the front end, meaning they get paid, so HBO paid for their license to put that movie on there. And then if someone is subscribed to the HBO or subscribed to whatever, they get a percentage, and that percentage goes, oh, they watch this, and that percentage and they get paid pennies on the dollar here and there, over there, and then millions of people watch it, and then they get a check at the end. It might be 3 cents because one person watched it on their Sunday afternoon, or it might be a $3,000 check. So in those terms, right, Final Fantasy 14, if it comes to Game Pass, in my prediction, okay, in the Ultimate package, you're paying $16 a month. If you only played, just you, I'm talking about you yourself, if you played Final Fantasy 14 and that's the only thing you paid for or played on Game Pass, the majority of that monthly fee, whatever the deal they had with Square Enix, that chunk would go towards Final Fantasy, right? If someone like myself plays Forza Motorsports, Halo Infinite, Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy, then that payment gets split up into whatever the contract is based on the deals they have. Each one's different, and then they get paid, right? So not only did Final Fantasy or Square Enix get a check up front for the deal, okay, to put Final Fantasy on Xbox, but they will also get money based off of, I would assume, off of Game Pass, whatever their deal is. And they would also get money based off all the DLCs, because they could give the first game, the base game, away for free, okay? And then they can sell all the DLCs, which Elder Scrolls does, right? They sell them on discount. They sell them for a little less. If you're a Game Pass member, they give you 20% off, 10% off. Then there's a whole microtransaction store for cosmetic skins, right? And then they would also get paid. So Xbox would get their 30% every time there's a microtransaction sold. And Square Enix looks at it and goes, sure, if you can open up my player base to an additional potential 20 million people that have Game Pass, that covers the monthly fee. Okay, you see what I'm saying? If someone comes in and pays $10 microtransactions, someone else pays $25, and somebody else buys 3 DLCs, all that money gets more money into Square Enix's pocket, so they don't have to charge for a monthly subscription because Game Pass is covering that monthly subscription for them. That's why MMOs don't get charged if they put stuff like that onto a service like that. So that's how Final Fantasy 14 would get away from not doing it. Yeah, it's not a special deal. That would be just a deal, like whatever deal is. And Phil Spencer's on record saying that each deal is separate and is different, right? So it all depends. Like, obviously, if it's an independent game, right, they would just pay it outright. If it's not a live service game, right, they would give them maybe a discount because they know the live service game, people are buying more microtransactions, so Xbox will take more money on the back end for 30% and stuff.
Exactly, Akadapopu. Exactly. That's the end game eventually.
20 million with the potential of several billions of mobile as Game Pass expands. Right. Yes. That's the potential, because down the road, the cloud gaming of Game Pass, because that's what they're working on. They're working on the cloud gaming aspect of it, hence why the FTC said it was unfair and whatnot. In the future, you're going to be able to play most of these games on your mobile phone or your tablet or your next, the next latest, greatest iPhone or Google thing.
Whatever the next gen tech thing is. Yeah.
So that's how they would do it. Okay. So next story. Path of Exile. Oh, and guys, if you have questions for us, I can see some questions in chat while we're talking, pertinent to the actual conversation. But if you have a question for us anytime, you can submit it. There's a little blue bar up at top. You can ask a question. At the end of the show, we have a segment that we go over and we answer your questions. So make sure you hit that. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well if you're not subscribed. All right, so Path of Exile 2 now has a full standalone sequel coming, right? So Path of Exile 2 is coming out. The closed beta details they revealed just a couple days ago that it's coming out next year, right? In beta next year. A lot of people were disappointed with this. They thought it was coming out sooner rather than later, but it's coming out later. So the beta is coming out in June, I think, next year. It looks fantastic, right? It looks fantastic. These are some of the screenshots. Again, Path of Exile, they've made a lot of different changes. If you want to know more about that, you can go to their video that they had. I'm not talking about that there. We're just talking about Path of Exile coming out. A lot of people talk about Path of Exile as being a Diablo killer, right? And I hate when people say this type of stuff because, again, you have the people that have been playing Path of Exile for what? I think it's 10 years now, right? It's been out for 10 years.
Has it really?
Yeah, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Path of Exile 1 has been out for 10 years or close to it, if I'm not mistaken, right? So now Path of Exile 2 is coming out, and it conveniently, they've been working on it, right? They didn't have to make a Path of Exile 2 because so many people were playing Path of Exile 1, right? But then Diablo said that we're making Diablo 4, and they said, well, let's get to work because now we need to make a Path of Exile 2 to compete with Diablo 4. So that's what they did. So they're working on this. They're not delaying it, but they're kind of pushing back. They want to make sure everything works. There's a huge population that plays Path of Exile, and they said everything you buy and now we've heard this before, right? Because Overwatch said this with Blizzard, but they said everything you purchase, everything you do can get moved over to Path of Exile 2, which is really nice. Because Path of Exile is a free-to-play game, right? So you're buying all the stuff, and the servers are up, and the people that pay for microtransactions and all this stuff is what keeps the game going, right? So it looks phenomenal, but the beta is coming out next year, and I think you could sign up, or I guess you get information. You can't sign up just yet. Yeah, Path of Exile released in 2013. So you go, 10 years. So a lot of people are excited about this. I don't think it's a killer of anything. I just think that people that play Path of Exile play more Path of Exile. And some people that never played Path of Exile, maybe they get their feet wet in Diablo, or maybe it's, what's the other one? Or Lost Ark. And they're like, yeah, you know what? I really like these games. I'm going to move over to Path of Exile. It could be like a gateway drug to get over there, type of thing. So Path of Exile, you played Path of Exile a little bit, Sarge. You played it more than me. Would you be interested in the Path of Exile 2 next year, or are you just kind of like over Path of Exile?
I played Path of Exile because I didn't like what was going on in Diablo 3. That was the reason why I started playing Path
Well, that's why I think they made it because they were fans of Diablo 2. And then that's why they made Path of Exile.
I mean, like, I enjoy the game, but once again, for me personally, I've played those type of games for a very long time. And so unless it has something that really makes me want to keep playing it, I don't have the drive to continue playing.
Right.
Like, I applaud everything I saw when I watched the Path of Exile. Was it what was it called? ExileCon or whatever they were talking about. Like, I watched
ExileCon. Yeah.
I watched everything they were talking about, and they're really passionate about the game, and it made me wonder, where is that passion and the way that they speak for a game that's been beloved for over 25 years?
Right.
Right? They talk that way about Path of Exile. I don't hear those guys talking like that about Diablo.
Well,
I hear them talk about other things about Diablo.
Well,
but I don't hear them talk the way that they talk about Path of Exile.
Here's the reason, I think, right? And I talk about this with free-to-play games all the time. Free-to-play games, when they come out, have to be good. Because the hook is the game, right? If you paid $70 for Diablo, and then look at the blowback of Diablo right now. People are like, I don't like this, I don't like that. But Path of Exile, when it comes out, or when it came out, they've improved it, but their drive is people love it, and they're going to keep driving towards what people like and continue making the game because they have to, because the only way they make money is if you're enjoying yourself in the game to buy the
Right.
microtransactions or buy the cosmetics.
Right.
Where Diablo is, we don't really care if you buy or we don't really care if you keep playing the game after you purchase it, because we already got your 70, we already got your 80, we already got your 90, we already got your $10 for the battle pass. So who gives a shit type of thing, right? Where free to play games, I mean, hate Fortnite all you want, but Fortnite is a free to play battle royale game, and it makes trillions of dollars, and it's fun as hell for the people that are interested in Fortnite and any other free to play game that's out there. What's the other one? The one with the anime. Oh god, I can't think of it right now. My brain just. It's on PlayStation. It's on PC. It's got hot girls in it and stuff like that. I forget what the hell it's called. Chat, help me out here. You know what I'm talking about? Baitwalker plays it. Genshin Impact. I got it before chat, right? Genshin Impact. Thank you, Krebsy. Okay. Genshin Impact, right? That has to be good because it's a free-to-play game. They want you to be hooked on it from the start, and I think that's why the passionate that comes from the developers of Path of Exile, okay, that's why, because they really truly love what they're making, and the people that play the game truly love what they're making, right? Where people that are playing Blizzard games or Diablo games or any other game out there, right, is like, all right, this better be the greatest, best thing because I'm paying $70 and it better be good. And it just, your expectations are shattered because they're not. You have to wait.
No, our expectations are not shattered. Right? I just want a complete game when you release it for me, and I have to pay you money for it. I'm not asking for anything special. I'm asking for basics of the game.
Right.
And that's not happening. And so yeah, people are disheveled about it. So they say shit. They call it out. They call it shit when they see it.
All right, the next one's not game related, but I'm a local. You're in Florida. We always talk about Disney here, right? So Disney, Mickey Mouse officially being retired, effective immediately. Right? This is
like immediately. Like Mickey Mouse is no longer associated with Disney. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, that's what it says in the article. Let's read, shall we? So Walt Disney Company is about to do an unthinkable and retire Mickey Mouse. Okay. So Too Many Mickey Mouse essentially is Disney as associated with the iconic company as Disney's Prince or Haunted Mansion. There's a reason why millions of Magic Kingdom guests wear the mouse ears on the dream vacations every year. However, it seems that the House of Mouse is about to shut down its lead character today, July 28th, on the 100th anniversary of the company. Now, Mickey Mouse is the world's most famous mascot, and Mickey Mouse was created in 1928 by Walt Disney and the Ubiel Twerks, one of the greatest unsung masters of early animation. First conceived as a Mortimer Mouse, has also replaced an early Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, is made his formal debut as a character in the iconic short Steamboat Willie. Now, not considering Steamboat Willie has hand in current retirement of Mickey Mouse, almost immediately Mickey Mouse became an undeniable part of Walt Disney Company brand, appearing in a number of cartoon shorts and full-length features, right? So, The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. Since 2020, Mickey Mouse has starred in the animated Disney Plus series, A Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which featured a fellow classic character of Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, Pluto, Daisy, and then more. The series has direct continuation of the Disney Channel, which may not be long, because they might be shutting down the Disney Channel as well, series Mickey Mouse, which is highly acclaimed and returned to classic Disney slapstick humor and won numerous Emmys and Annie Awards. Now, if you haven't watched this, Sarge, this is actually pretty funny, right? The art style, it reminds me of like Ren and Stimpy. Remember Ren and Stimpy? Okay. And what Mickey Mouse and stuff does in these cartoons is it literally is like the old cartoons where they, ate the corn in the vehicle that was going down the hill and all they did was slapstick stuff. That's what they do in these cartoons. They really like captured what it was, but they're ending that show, right? So, however, Disney has announced the final episode of The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse will air today, featuring the main mouse himself teaming up with the black and white incarnation of Steamboat Willie, which I just watched with my son. And it's actually a really good episode. Okay. But they're getting rid of it, right? They've canceled it. Now, Disney's copyright woes are starting to happen because next year, Mickey Mouse becomes a public domain, right? And Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney World, what they've been trying to do now is they've been trying to include, because they can't copyright Mickey Mouse, right? So what they're trying to do is use the Steamboat Willie. So when you watch Disney stuff now, in the beginning of the credits, they put Steamboat Willie in the credits as part of the opening because they can copyright that as an opening of the thing. So then if they use Mickey, they're trying to do a back end kind of thing, right? To try to copyright it again. So they're trying to use Steamboat Willie in the opening of Walt Disney openings now, so they can try to hold it on. There's also a Mickey Mouse Protection Act that they're trying to pass. Okay, it's to push into legislation by Walt Disney Company to effort to maintain legal control and profitability over its chief asset, because once it goes public domain, anybody can make money off Mickey Mouse, right? You can make T-shirts and stickers. I can put it on my screen. I can talk like Mickey Mouse. It doesn't matter. Everything's free game. It's like the Wild West, right? So, however, even under the Copyright Term Action Act, Mickey Mouse will enter a public domain in 2024 unless sudden congressional actions is taken. Considering Disney is already in quite a bit of legal trouble, though, around the country, it's particularly by the state governor, the company might not be able to make it happen. So they might actually lose, and this is why we saw the Winnie the... Did you see that horror flick that came out last year? It was a Winnie the Pooh chat. What was it called? I forget what it was called. Yeah, I see someone saying in chat, the Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh was a movie. It was a horror flick because a couple years ago, Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain, and you're allowed to do whatever you want with those characters at that time. So my question for you, Sarge, do you think a company, and take what you think about Disney out, because I know you're angry at Disney and whatnot, but any company, right? Let's say Mario. Let's take it in video game form. A company that owns a mascot that is the brand, right? That is the brand. Mario is Nintendo. You think Mario, you think Nintendo. If it's in the same scenario where all of a sudden Mario is about to become public domain, do you think if a character is that brand, that they should be able to protect their brand? Like, obviously, if Donald Duck and all of them go public domain, that's fine. But Mickey Mouse is, you think Mickey Mouse, you think Walt Disney World, right? You think Disney. So do you think they should be able to hold that character because it's such an iconic character? Or do you say, fuck it, because if they make them do it, then everybody can do it. And then what's the copyright law for? What's the public?
All things are supposed to run out over time. That's the natural.
That was the natural thing.
Yeah. So listen, if they really cared that much about it, they would just make another Mickey Mouse, right? Draw up a new one,
which they
right?
did.
Make
different version of him, right?
Different, and then iconic. I can't even speak.
Put that down as right.
Iconize
that, yeah.
Iconize that, and then move on from there. And just you start slapping that on T-shirts, and now you have that for another 50 years. Like, that's all you got to do. Like, the whole thing about them trying to hang on to dear life about the old one is a lot of people don't know. I would say a lot of kids now have never even seen what Steamboat Willie is or any of that stuff at all. Like, they don't know what it is.
Well, no, it's not about Steamboat Willie. It's about the character in general.
I understand, but they don't know. They know what Mickey Mouse is. They know who Mickey Mouse is. So then that's all you have to do is rebrand the iconic character and then copyright that for the next 50 years and move on.
Yeah, but they can still make.
You don't get to hold on to the thing forever. Nobody does.
I agree, but I do believe, because when the law was set, no one had a brand like we have brands now. Like
back in like 1992.
Yeah, nobody.
No,
yeah.
But back then they had the common sense to put down not unlimited. There's limitations.
Right.
So move on.
I feel like this is it, right? If anything, they can make they could try to move the character and make it, let's say, Figment, and Figment could be like the head of Disney now, or another character that they had where they have another 75 years to work with and stuff like that.
We'll see.
Yeah. So that's that story. I just thought it was funny because the cartoon that I actually liked, and that's why I knew it was getting canceled. I was like, oh, I actually like this. And then they canceled it after, I think, 3 seasons or whatever. And I was just like, oh, well, there goes that, right? Because when I first saw the Ren and Stimpy type of animation, I was like, oh, are they trying to market towards me? Like the old guy that used to like that type of animation? And it's really, really good stuff. Even the ride that they put inside the park, the Runaway Railway, is that same type of art style that they're doing, right? And then all the other places they put Mickey now are in that same art style, but they're going to lose Mickey Mouse, which will be interesting to see, because now T-shirts, you've been to iDrive before, right? You go into a gift shop. Those are not licensed Disney shirts. You know what I'm saying? Those are in the back room putting thing, and then put it on the rack and then charge $25 because it says Mickey on it, right? That's going to happen everywhere now, because now everyone can do it, and it's not illegal anymore. They've been doing it illegally for years and years and decades, and now they're doing it non-legally, or legally, I should say. When the law was written 100 years ago, it was like 3 lifetimes. Yeah. Akuta Papa says the only thing that's running out is the original version of Mickey Mouse. The newer animations are copyright further out. It's part of why they're getting the live action movies. Oh no, I get that, Akuta Papa. They don't want to lose that. That's why they're redoing the things, right? So they can keep the licenses. License is different than the copyright, right? So Mickey Mouse, the creator of Mickey Mouse, this is why I said they're taking Steamboat Willie and putting it in the titles of their movies now, so it's part of that. They don't want to lose Mickey. They don't want to lose Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse itself, when it was, you could change the way he looks, okay? But Mickey Mouse, the entity of Mickey Mouse is now public domain. Hence why Winnie the Pooh was made into a horror flick, okay? Because they don't own it anymore. So everyone can make, hence why anyone can make a grimoire, the Grimms, right? Like the dwarves and the three Goldilocks. Anyone can make those movies because they're public domain. Hence why Disney made them, because they don't have to pay anybody, right? And they try to make them their own. So the entire article is clickbait and false. What do you mean? Why would it be clickbait and false? This is actual facts and like rules of the law that was.
No, they're saying that it's a clickbait article. That's all.
Okay. All right. I mean, the article might be clickbait, but the facts that it's saying in it is actual real. Like in 2024, they lose the licensing, or it becomes public domain of Mickey Mouse.
The discrepancy is Mickey Mouse and not Steamboat Willie, or vice versa.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, there's two parts in that article. One was the show that was canceling, and two was the copyright, right? Or the licensing.
We're going to see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Next one. Nintendo Switch 2 reportedly getting a... Oh, wait. Is this part of these? Oh, hold on a second. This is grain of salt territory, because this is all rumors. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay. So everything that we say from here, take it with a grain of salt. These are rumors and whatnot. Nintendo Switch reportedly getting a 24 release. Nintendo apparently is planning to launch a second half of next year, along with the PlayStation 5 Pro or Slim or whatever it's coming out.
Whatever it is.
So while rumors have circulating the years about the successor of Nintendo Switch, it's looking increasingly likely that a launch will happen in 2024, according to the new report from Video Game Chronicle. Development kits are now in hands of Nintendo key partners, with the launch plan of the second half of next year. Sources for the outlet claim that the system will still have the cartridge slot for physical games. Though backwards compatibility remains unclear, it's also possible that the system may launch with a LCD screen rather than an OLED to help reduce cost. Well, of course, they want to update it to the OLED afterwards. Come on. Next year will mark the 7th anniversary. Holy Christ, 7 years for the Switch? I remember when we... on this show, when we first started talking about the portable unit and how we were like, how's anyone going to play that thing with the crab claw that you have to hold on?
My hands are still too small to play on that thing.
Right.
My hands are too big to play on that thing. Excuse me.
But if you have two Joy-Cons in each hand, like one in each hand, it actually feels comfortable. So with launch on March 3rd in 2017, the system has been massive success for Nintendo, and software sales have been incredibly strong. After decades of supporting two platforms at the same time, Nintendo made the risky move to combine the console and handheld markets into one system. The gambit paid off in a big way, and the VGC reporting confirms that Nintendo's next system will also be a hybrid. So far, Nintendo has been quite quiet regarding on the Switch successor. In May, the company stated that the length between console announcements has released could be shorter than it has been in the previous generation. Notably, Switch was fully revealed in 2016 before the release of the following year, and VGC sources are correct. That might mean that we won't hear about the new system until late 2023, which is probably like November, or even early 2024. The one thing that we do know is for sure that the system will carry over current Nintendo accounts in order to smooth transition consumers. Now, if the Nintendo Switch is truly incoming to a close, it seems that the thing is ending in a high note. This year is seen to release a critically acclaimed games like Legends of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4, Metroid Prime Remastered, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Detective Pikachu Returns, and Super Mario RPG are all set to release before the end of the year, and the company plans of 2024 have been somewhat quieter, but do you know the Princess Peach game and a remastered Luigi Mansion Dark Moon will both be releasing? So, what do you think they could do, Sarge?
Incredible. It's incredible.
What do you think they could do, right? Crazy Uncle Nintendo. Here they are. 7 years.
They do whatever they want.
Right?
They do whatever they want.
What kind of system do they come out with? Do they continue making it a portable system? Or do you think they go like rogue and they make something completely like badass that blows away PlayStation 5 and Xbox in like fidelity and like
Well,
power.
the question remains is, do you think Japan has an AR headset to trump what's out there right now? Do you think
I
they have
don't
something
think
in the works?
I don't think
Do they
Nintendo
do,
goes AR. I don't think they do that. They're crazy, but they're not psychopaths. I don't think AR is
well, then show me what the advance will be if I make another hybrid and I'm going to lower the screen to LED instead of OLED. What's the hook for me getting the new system? Like why am I getting the new system?
I got
what about it?
I can name 3
What about
things
it?
why you're getting a new system. Are you ready? Mario, Zelda, and Metroid.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you
All right,
need.
so what you're saying, so all you're really telling me is that we're gonna make 3 games and you can only play them on the new system, and that's the reason I don't have to test anything else.
That's what they do all the time. They make a new Nintendo system.
I know.
And they make the
I
same
know.
games over again for the system, the new system, right?
I know, but what I'm saying is, what's the hook? The hook originally was it's a house system that you could take on the go. Brilliant. It was brilliant.
I think Dupless is saying it in chat. I think 60 frames per second comes into mind. I think they do maybe a 2K, not a 4K, right?
So how big is it? What does it look like? Does it look like a tablet now?
I think it comes out and it's sort of like in competition a little bit with like the Steam Deck type of size, right? Like a Steam Deck portable unit still. You could still hook it up into the thing, but when you hook it up, it does like 4K, okay? Maybe 60 frames. And again, I'm being very, very generous with the stuff, right? Because Crazy Uncle Nintendo can do whatever they want.
Do whatever they want.
Okay. I think they go big, and then the thing itself, when you unhook it, it does like 2K 60 frames, right? I think that's the way they do it. I think this time around, I think that Nintendo competes with the systems that are happening right now, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, right? I don't think they go beyond that. I think they park it right next to what's already out, but now it's Nintendo. You see what I'm saying? Like, Nintendo doesn't need to go above what the other competitors are doing because they're not competing with them. They're in their own little market. You get a Nintendo when you get born. They just hand you one. They said, "Congratulations, you're born. Here's a Nintendo. Here's Mario. Here's Zelda. Here's whatever." Right? I think they just take the Switch, if it's Switch 2 or whatever it is, and they just bring it up to the par of what PlayStation 5 and Xbox is, and then Xbox and PlayStation again with their next systems, they go above Nintendo. But at that time, it doesn't matter because Nintendo will have a 3, 4, 5 year head start, and people just like what they have.
It's not based on cloud. It's not going to have a disc. It's going to have those little mini hard drives.
The cartridges.
The games run.
Yeah, it's
like
gonna have
the
the cartridges.
So bigger, weaker screen, more power. I mean, I don't see I don't see the hook. And then what would be the price point of something like that?
$400.
You think so?
Yeah, I think $400. They'll come out to see how it sells with the regular LED screen, and then if it sells like hotcakes, then they make a second version. They do OLED, like something else with it, right? Maybe. What else could it do?
I just don't see the hook, like because what they released with the household system that could be portable was genius, and I just don't see right now in current market conditions.
Got it.
What do you do to beat it?
I got it. Are you ready? Okay. You know how you can take the screen and you can
otherwise it's not a sequel, just a Pro. You made a Switch Pro. It's not like a new system.
I got it better. Ready? I don't know if this is happening, but the technology's out there, right? Where they have the short projectors that can stay like a foot away from the wall. You can put it or right up to the wall, and it projects the whole screen on the wall, type of thing. Okay.
I can make anything the screen.
Yeah. What about if they take the Switch? It's a portable device, but then you can take the screen off, right? Instead of playing on that little screen for people around the thing, it just stands up and it projects on the wall, and now you have like
anything. So anything can be the screen.
So like you have like an 80-inch screen projecting from the Switch unit, right?
That sounds like something that Nintendo would sell as an accessory, not as an actual feature. But I like it.
Maybe the dock. Maybe you put the dock in something. I'm just trying to take it to the next level of like what they could do, right? Because that's the biggest thing. Like when my son wants to play, we're at grandma's house. He's like, "Hey, Dad, you want to play Mario Kart?" I'm like, I can't see what I'm doing, man. I need like a screen because we didn't bring the dock, right? So we're just playing on the thing. He's like, "Oh, fine," because he's sitting in front of me. He's blocking the view of the small screen. You know what I'm talking about? Now they can project a screen on the wall, on a cabinet, on the ceiling, whatever, right? And you can all play. Remember what we did? Remember when we played PlayStation 2 back in the day?
We played Battlefront.
We
played Star Wars Battlefront, the first one.
Yeah. Now
we have on the ceiling.
We have in my mom's house has this vaulted, really like steep angled roof, right? Like one is steeper than the other, right? And we laid down on the ground and we took a projector and we shined it up at the wall, and it was like a 300-inch screen on the ceiling.
And we were playing the Battle of Hoth.
And we were playing Battlefront. Yeah, we were playing Battlefront up on the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
That's something that they could potentially do, right? Now, maybe I should put that in the big book of Bull, right? Maybe I should make that prediction and put it in the big book of Bull, right?
You should put that in there.
All right, so let me bookmark it.
Because I'm trying to figure out. Listen, if Nintendo's coming out with another system, the way they're talking about it's another system. But really, if I believe what Dupla says, if they're going to increase the hardware, then really all it is a Pro Switch. Like what makes it the new console? Like you know what I mean? Like it's listen, Nintendo's going to do Nintendo stuff. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm just kind of curious to know what makes it better. Like what's going to make it better?
All right, this is he just put it. LifeWire. Stealth just put this in the chat. Okay, Nintendo Switch 2 news expected price, release date, specs, and more rumors. Take it with a grain of salt, chat. Okay, so when will Nintendo Switch 2 be released? Rumors say that the Switch 2 is set to release the first 3 months of 2024. The main source information is reported by the Chinese analyst Money DJ, which says it's worth noting. Let me make this bigger for people. It's worth noting that supply chain points out of Japan game console will launch a new machine that's been out for many years at the beginning of next year. The game console is also one of the key consumers of original phase and is expected to drive a camp in the second half of the year to add more movement. Now, the Switch is for sure a Japanese game console that's been out for a few years. And another possibility is that the supplier, reportedly PixArt Image, is referring to the updated PlayStation 5/Pro/Slim model. The same reporter made more specific claim on July 2023, this time from Plastic Molding Company. Okay. In addition, there's also an overall movement of game consoles this year mediocre in the second half of the year. With the advent of the traditional peak season, game consoles are also expected to increase compared with the first half of the year. Nintendo plans to launch Switch in Q1 next year, according to this estimate. And the game console assembly business is expected to see a movement of goods in December of this year. Right, because it takes like months to get across, right? So they're shipping them out, and then they'll get here like January, February. Now, I don't know if this is
This take months. It takes a while.
It takes months. No, it doesn't take months to go across the sea. It takes months once it's over in the port. They have to go through. Yeah. It takes like 60 days, right? So we know that the Switch 2 is in the works. However, Microsoft has confirmed as much on its ongoing attempts to buy Activision Blizzard. Some of the court documents cite that Microsoft commit to make a Call of Duty available on the in-development Switch model. These documents don't provide any release dates, but they do show it's coming. Other rumors from the VGC say the Switch 2 is coming out in the last half of 2024, ensure that Nintendo has enough supply, considering that PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X suffered with distribution for the first few years of release. Now, the price rumor is that overall past couple of console generations, Nintendo generally came out ahead, selling the consoles relatively cheap compared to Sony's PlayStation, Microsoft, Xbox. The same was true for the Switch, which launched at $299 and a different price of $200 over the competitors. We've heard no rumors about what the Switch 2 might cost, but we've expected around the same or possible a bit more. If especially powerful, the guess is around $300 to $350. Nintendo hasn't announced the Switch 2 yet, so we have no information about pre-orders. And it says Nintendo Switch 2 features will all have all rumors at this point, but everyone's expecting Nintendo Switch 2 to have the same basic functionality as the original. That is, and will have both portable and dock modes, attachable controllers. So that's what they're making it look like. This may not be the case, however. One bizarre rumor cites that TSA agent who may have unfinished development kit at the checkpoint the kit size was almost as par with the Xbox One, suggesting a less portable console. We aren't sure we buy this. However, because hybrid consoles work really well with both Nintendo consumers, there's no real reason to change it unless Nintendo has an even better idea. This rumor also said that the new controllers include a scroll wheel and near the triggers, and the detail is also don't know what to do with. User also hope that the Switch 2 will also be backwards compatibility with the original Switch titles. Historically, Nintendo has been more open to backwards compatibility than Sony or Microsoft, and the Wii U console could play Wii games. The Wii could play GameCube titles and various Game Boy support software. Let's see, Nintendo Switch spec hardware. Okay, let's see. Switch 2 will have more memory. Current Switch only has 32 gigs. It will have a slot for physical cartridges. It will have a portable mode. And that's about it. It doesn't really say. The system also renders light, shadows, and reflections in real time. If true, the suggestion will Switch 2 will support 4K resolution, although maybe not a portable mode. I don't know, Sarge. I'm thinking my idea is pretty good with the portable projector thing. You know what I mean? Like you put that dock. It's like a set top box. Then you pull it out of the box. Maybe the dock is not just a little slim thing. Maybe it's something that the thing just sits into, and maybe it is. Maybe the TSA guy saw the box. He said it was about his Xbox. Maybe that's the whole console. And when you pull out the handheld, go from 4K to 2K. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Crazy to Nintendo. You don't know.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo can do anything it wants. Crazy.
Yeah. They don't have to sell 3 games.
Right.
Well,
they just have to have 3 characters. That's it. Just
three games.
Right.
Mario Kart, the Zelda game, and a Mario game. Done. Done.
That's it. That's
all they sell.
That's right. They can literally just sell Mario,
Kirby.
Right. Well, no, they can sell Mario Baseball, Mario Football, Mario Soccer, Mario Kart. Right.
Just like the old days.
That's all they got to do.
Just like the old days.
That's all they got to do. Next story.
It's genius, though. It really is.
Next story is Teenage Mutant Turtles. Mutants of Mayhem is in theaters now, and it's getting really good reviews, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Minecraft is taking Teenage Mutant Turtles, and they bring them into the actual game. So if you can see this on screen, I can't play the music because they actually played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They play it. So, but what they did, it's an $8 DLC or expansion that you can get, and they've taken the Turtles and Splinter, and they've put them into this map / I don't know if there's like a board that you play. It looks like there's like an open world that you can explore and maybe go on some quests, because there's like bad guys that you can fight, right? So you can fight Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Kang, and a couple of other ones. You're fighting the foot soldiers in the city. This looks pretty fun, right? So my son, he saw it. This is how he sold it to me. He goes, "Hey Dad, you're a Ninja Turtle fan, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, they have Ninja Turtles for Minecraft, so you might want to get that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's right. I am gonna get it. So the little turd is gonna
stole by your son.
Yeah, the little turd's gonna get his Ninja Turtles because I want the Ninja Turtles, and that's how it works, right? Like, no, I'm not buying it for you. I'm buying it for me so you can play it, right? So it looks cool. It looks cool. And look, Minecraft, I'm telling you right now, is one of the best games ever created. It really is. Right? It's so simplistic.
It's such a money hog.
Yeah, it's so simplistic. And this is not the first time they've done something like this. They've done it with Jurassic Park and Star Wars. I think they have Star Trek in there as well. Like they've done many Marvel type of characters. There's so many things that they do with things like this. And this is a great crossover, right? I always talk about crossovers. You don't have to make something that's like 1-to-1 like Mutants of Mayhem. This is not a movie crossover, right? This is a brand crossover. This is just Teenage Mutant Turtles coming to Minecraft that's promoting the movie that's not promoting the movie, because it's not the characters from the movie. It's not the movie itself. It's not Mutants of Mayhem. It's just the Turtle brand that's coming to Minecraft. So I thought it was pretty cool. So there you go. Mutant Turtles coming to a console or PC near you. And it's already out, so you can buy it, and it's $8. It's cheap. Okay. Another thing. That wasn't rumor. We had another rumor thing here. Where's the other? Move it. Oh, we're still in the grain of salt. I kind of screwed it up, but we're still in the grain of salt section. Okay. Next one is Gotham Knights DLC may be releasing soon. Okay. So there's not really much in the article. It's just a bunch of, but the reason they talk about the article is that in Steam, there was in the coding, there was a way that people saw, and they said they saw the code for Batman, right? So now people are like rumored going, well, Gotham Knights, they could bring Batman, right? And I don't know how they would work that in, because the story of how Batman literally dies in the beginning of the game, right? It's not a spoiler alert. It literally happens in like the first 6 minutes, right? So now they could bring him back, but I don't know if it'll be like a prequel type of thing. If it would be like a case file where because they have case files in the game now. There was also a picture that they found of Two-Face in the files. Okay. And I have a video that talks about the way they keep this game alive is that they do case files or more heroic assaults, right? And I think that's what we're getting. I don't think it's going to be like a major DLC update that you're going to pay like $40 for. It's going to be like this really like lots of stuff going on. I think it's going to be like they add more bad guys. Maybe they add another couple heroes, and then you play through heroic assault, or you play through. I think what they should do is they should bring Batman in. Like, fuck it, the game's over anyway, right? So just bring Batman in, let you be Batman plus the Gotham Knights, and explore the map, and then bring as many bad guys as possible, like for case files, or just throw bad guys in, like throw Killer Croc in there, throw in Two-Face, throw in Catwoman or whatnot. So that's the rumor, right? That the last time they saw this is when the last Heroic Assault came out, and now in the files there's something brewing again, so we don't know when that's coming out. I think it might be the year anniversary, which would be October, right? Like right before October comes out, I think they drop another DLC. So, you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right. The next rumor thing is Red Dead Redemption. Okay. Red Dead Online is adding new content this month. And in this article, it talks about how they're adding stuff. And they haven't added.
Why?
Well, here's why.
Why?
I think this is my rumor, Sarge. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
The article is saying that they're adding stuff to Red Dead Redemption. And I'm like, well, why
the first game?
The first game. No.
The first game.
No. Red Dead Online.
Online.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. So
okay.
The reason they're doing this is just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, cross promotion, right? Here's my theory. It's been rumored that Red Dead 1 is being remastered, right? There's a rumor that they're going to say it sometime in the near future. Okay. I think that this is leading up because this event runs, I believe, till like September, if I'm not mistaken. It runs till September 4th, right? So it starts like this week and it ends September 4th. Okay. So I'm like, well, why September 4th? Right. So I think, let me look it up real fast. What day is September 4th on? You know what September 4th is on? September 4th is on a Monday. Okay. Games release on a Tuesday. Okay. I think this is a lead up to Red Dead Remastered. Okay. Get you hyped up. They tell you when it's coming out. They tell you Red Dead Remastered is coming out in September. Okay. Let's say September 5th. Right. This event goes until September 4th. And technically, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to get you hyped up on the online version because you're going to start playing new events and stuff like that. They're going to get you the taste buds going. And then they're going to tell you, hey, this event's going on. And we also announced Red Dead 1. And here's when it comes out. And it's going to lead right into the remastered version of Red Dead 1. What do you think? Do you think that's good?
I mean, are they so bored right now that they have to do a re-release of a remaster of a game because they're not ready to release Grand Theft Auto 6 yet? I mean, why? Like, to me, that just seems why? Why would you need to release it?
What about
why would you need to release it? They don't.
It's just extra money in their pocket.
They don't need extra money, bro. They got plenty of money.
But why? If you put new content in Red Dead Redemption 2, released a remaster.
The game that they said that's been dying.
Yeah, hold on.
The one they said that no one wants to play. That their words.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play. Now we're going to spend all this time and work to remaster.
Yeah, it's cherry on the top of what they've already made their billions of dollars, right? So they put content into Red Dead 2. They bring out Red Dead 1, right? There's rumors that they're also remastering Grand Theft Auto 4. Okay. And then, so let's just picture this. So if they announce Red Dead 1,
remaster Red Dead, remaster 4, and then 6 comes out.
And then they announce 6. So they get you hyped up, they get you really hyped up, and then they're like, boom! In November they announce Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out next year, right? And then you're like, I'm buying everything Rockstar, baby. I'm gonna playing Red Dead 2, Red Dead 1, getting Grand Theft Auto for the 5th time, right? And then Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Do you think you think I got something, or do you think it's a little far fetched? Sarge, what do you think?
You're a lunatic.
You think I'm a lunatic? I don't know. We'll see. September 4th, they announced remastered. It's released in October.
They don't release nothing except GTA 5 BS to make more money. Why would you do a re-release of a game that no one cares about?
I think it's just a hype. That's what I think it is. Because what's the downside? What's the downside of not releasing it? They've already made billions and trillions of dollars.
They haven't been in the news for a while. That's why they need to be back in the news for a little while to get some publicity back.
Right.
Okay.
That's the advertisement.
If that's the reason, then I'll agree with you. But not because they need to release a game, because they haven't released the game for forever.
But you don't.
They canceled everything else they were making. They canceled Bully. They canceled what was the other game that they had that Rockstar had? They canceled everything because they don't need to make anything.
Because they're hand over fist. Onlines are making everything for them.
Well, GTA 5 Online's making the Red Dead Online.
Red Dead made money for them. Don't kid yourself. Red Dead has sold 45 million or 54 million copies. Okay, Red Dead 2 sold like 54 million copies.
But they didn't get the retention for people to be online in the Wild West. That's all.
Hold on, let me look at the Red Dead Redemption 2 sales. Yeah, for a game that didn't sell well because it wasn't Grand Theft Auto, it sold 53 million units.
A lot.
Fucking A, right? It's a lot. There's series that haven't even printed that many. Okay, and that was Red Dead Redemption 2. We're like, I don't want to play it. 53 million units since 2018. That's insane, right? So why would they make a remaster of Red Dead 1? Well, let's see. Red Dead 1 sales. Let's see. Red Dead Redemption 1 sales. Do we have Red Dead 1 sales? How many copies were sold? That's Red Dead Redemption. Oh, as of May, Red Dead Redemption has sold 53 million units. What does Red Dead Redemption 2 sales have? The game shipped 23 million copies in 2018, generating $1.3 billion in revenue, and sales reached 29 million in 2019, 36 million in 2020, and 43 million in 2021, and 50 million in 2022. So yeah, the first game sold 50 million units, and the second game sold 50 million units, okay, for the series. So they have 100 million units sold, okay? So yeah, this is why they're making a remaster of Red Dead 1, which is really the prequel or sequel to Red Dead 2, which is so weird because it's like Red Dead 1 is the sequel to Red Dead 2, and Red Dead 2 came out after Red Dead 1, and it's just like, all right, whatever. Anyway, this is why they're doing it. Just like Teenage Mutant Turtles is promoting on Minecraft for the movie, Red Dead Redemption Remastered is promoting Rockstar, and it's to get people, here's Rockstar again, we're getting stuff. I don't know. I think I got something. Wintar says Red Dead 1 Remaster would be huge. So, I don't know. And what else? I think that's it. Let's go to, because we have stories. But the Battlefield, I already went off on Battlefield this morning in my morning stream. So if you guys want me to go off, let me just get. Sorry, did you listen to my rant this morning about Battlefield? With not the reimagine, but the article that came out was the designer reflects the executive exclusive interview with DICE reflects on the 18-month journey to get Battlefield back on track, and the amount of bullshit that came out of the guy's mouth in the interview. I was just like, what are we talking about in the interview? Okay, he talks about how they missed the opportunity. They just didn't see how they missed what Battlefield was, right? And they said we should have listened to the players, right? We didn't know what we were doing, type of thing. And it's like, you had 18 games or 15 games to look at what Battlefield was, right? So did you watch me this morning and hear what I said?
I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
All right, so what are your thoughts on the bullshit that came out of the head's mouth on Battlefield, why it was bad?
Uh, the short of it is that somebody inside Dice laid the rules stating that their games have to make more reoccurring revenue, and they were told to do whatever it takes
Especially classes.
to make that happen.
Right.
And once they did it and people found out about it, they realized that Battlefield is not Battlefield anymore. They want it to be like an Overwatch, right? That's basically what they were trying to do. They want it to be Overwatch, you sell skins and blah, 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 instead of just making your Battlefield game. So now the word reimagined was used.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you reimagine something, that would mean you had to have imagined it to begin with. And they did not imagine to begin with. So unless what they're really trying to say is we're going to reimagine our reimagining, if that's what they meant, then maybe I'll give them a nickel, right? And I expect some change. Maybe I'll give them a nickel. Okay. But to me, they've destroyed the core of the game.
Yeah. They
Spending an
completely missed it.
additional 2 years to fix maps inside of a game didn't make sense to me to begin with. You just let the game die and you move on to the next one. But for some reason, they keep trying to fix the dead horse while they're making the other one already.
Right.
So by the time the one that they broke is fixed, the new one is already out. So what is the point of Battlefield 2042? Like, what is the point of it? If the game you're making is going to be out next year and you're going to finish making the game, fixing the game that you broke 2.5 years ago, it makes no sense at all, right? They're still trying to fit the square peg into the round hole. They're trying to get money to come out of Battlefield that doesn't want to come out of Battlefield.
Right.
Right. If you wanted, and I said it already 16 times, if you wanted Overwatch, but you wanted a Battlefield game, then all you had to do was call it G.I. Joe versus Cobra, and you could sell skins and vehicles all day long for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because you guys know how many toys G.I. Joe had, how many vehicles they had, how many skins, how many guys they had. So, like, you could do that all day long. But instead, you took the core of our game, tried to turn it into an Overwatch, and failed miserably. So I'm confused on what they think their reimagining is. The first 3 questions are: what time period? Right? Is there character classes or not?
Right.
And how big the maps are. Those are the 3 questions, right? Because the core of the game is team-based shooter, grand scale, lots of vehicles, fun for all. That's what the basic game is.
I want to read. There was one line that they say here that really pissed me off. Right. Where's the line? That wasn't it. That was the specialty class.
I mean, do you know how many vehicles there are in G.I. Joe? Did anybody grow up in the same time frame that I did? If you try to collect G.I. Joe stuff, like, imagine the seasons. Imagine the seasons in Battlefield G.I. Joe. Like, season 6, it'd be all the Cobra La stuff. Season 7, it'd be all the new G.I. Joe. Season 8, it'd be all the old classic stuff. Like, and the tanks that keep changing and the planes that keep changing. Like, everyone keep changing. Like, every 2-3 months, you have different vehicles to fly and guns to fire all year.
Here's one of my favorite lines out of this whole thing. It says, each of the specialists were originally designed to fit within the class structure that we had previous games. We just didn't land the communication or execute it in the way that players understood what role the specialist was supposed to play, says MacArthur. He says, we underestimated what we needed to make sure it constantly tied these things back to the original pillars of Battlefield: class gameplay, squadrons, teamwork. This is one of the big places we failed. When we look back on the data and we really start moving forward with introducing the new class system, one of the biggest things is we really wanted to understand what was a lot of our issues came from the fact that the players didn't understand how the specialists were supposed to work.
Right. I'm stupid.
Right. It was our fault why Battlefield failed.
The gamer's too stupid to know what a character class is.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I was like, what are you talking about?
That dude is clueless.
In the same paragraph, he said that the original pillars of Battlefield, class gameplay, squad play, and teamwork. And then in the next thing, he's talking about specialists and that we didn't understand how specialists were supposed to work. No, you know why? Because the specialists don't work in the game that's supposed to be squad play and teamwork, right? It's so fucking stupid. And I was like, are you oblivious to what you just said? We missed the mark on what Battlefield was, but it's the player's fault for not understanding what the specialists were. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Whose job is it to convey whose job is it to convey the premise of a game?
Them.
Right? Whose job is it? Like when you play Mario, you learn you go left and right, and you learn that if you hit a box, you get some coins. Ooh, what do the coins do? Oh, if I get 100 coins, I get extra life. Ooh,
Right.
there's something there.
Right.
Right. That's how you learn. In this game, it was like, we made some cool looking people to run around with. And that's it. They don't say nothing. They don't do nothing. So this guy's explosives is an explosive expert? Yeah. Oh, okay. So where's his explosives? Well, you don't get it yet. You get it. You have to unlock the explosives of the explosives guy later.
And then part of the article, they talk about how they took the last 18 months and fixed the 7 maps that originally came with the game, right?
You could have made 7 new maps by the time you fixed those first ones.
Right.
So what are you talking about?
Like, well, we learned.
You learned how to break a map.
Yeah.
You learned how to break a map.
You released it. And here's the best part. In the very, very beginning of this article, right? They say why the reason they released it the way they did.
Because I know why. Because contractual obligation. That's exactly why.
Yeah, they said that they were pushed it. Oh, okay. We witnessed some incredible comeback stories in recent years, and the pressure on DICE to deliver was looking immeasurable and was different of 18 months. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Deliver intentionally producer. Players were expecting a great game from us, and we didn't deliver initially. It's been tiring, exhausting.
Initially.
Yeah, initially. It's been tiring and exhausting and super rewarding. Like, what are we talking about? Super rewarding. You literally fucked up a franchise of 20 years.
He doesn't know how to speak corporate speak correctly. He's still learning. You can tell by the words he uses that he's trying to talk like the big boys in marketing do, but he's not quite good at it yet, right? So far, he's insulted us, right? He's insulted us, told us that he was both happy and sad to make a shitty game, right? He's not good yet. He's not good at corporate speak. Right? You are not going to convince me, okay, that what was supposed to happen with Battlefield didn't go their way and they had to eat it, right? And they had to eat it. And so somebody in the upper echelons of the company said, we need to sell this many copies. So how many people do we need to put on the skeleton crew to fix this game in order to sell that number?
Right.
That's what they did. That's what they did. Because they know they can't make any other money on it because it's not a games as service and it doesn't have microtransactions. So they have the money to go long to say, we need people to fix this game so we hit our number. Because it hasn't gone on, it went on sale, but nobody wants it. Nobody wants the game because it's not Battlefield.
Right. Let me go to a question from Lurker. Lurker asked, would anyone buy another Battlefield if they didn't fix this one? Would the player base just yawn and say,
buy one now.
We're playing BattleBit?
I don't buy one now.
I think
Gator's in here, bro, just in case you didn't know. Gator's here.
What's on Gator? My issue is that they took so much time to fix what was just the basics of the game. There wasn't a scoreboard. There wasn't a scoreboard.
I don't want to rehash old times. Bro. I already went crazy.
I'm
on this
rehashing
stuff.
it because the guy in
He's
the
an
article,
he's an idiot.
The way he talks about it is like, well, I just don't want to be,
he's
feedback.
clueless.
I want the feedback, but I don't want to get harassed, right? Or harsh feedback. And the harsh feedback is just curse words in front of what the actual thing is. Like, there's no scoreboard. Someone said there's no fucking scoreboard, and he's like, that's a harsh feedback.
Take out dickwad and fucking asshole. And
no scoreboard.
No scoreboard.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Just take out the adjectives
Yeah, what happened? What happened to sticks and stones?
I said that
Is
this morning.
everybody is everybody a pussy now? Is there so much estrogen in your bottled water that over the last 10 years, you guys are now growing tits? I don't understand the pussification of most of these guys who work. I don't get it. Man the fuck up.
Yeah,
right? You're making video games for 14 to 34-year-olds and mostly men. Prepare for some verbiage.
Right.
I don't know what you think is supposed to happen. We're not making Barbie's dream house. Okay? We're making fucking video games for boys who fucking curse and are mad when they don't get what they want. So if you're offended or hurt by some words because you don't know how to make a fucking video game, then you're in the wrong fucking business, buddy. You're in the wrong business.
It's funny to me when a person that played the game for 20 years. I've been playing. We've owned every single Battlefield, minus Hardline.
Fucking incredible, man.
Right? To not know what's in a Battlefield game or what Battlefield is literally. I said the example today. Kevin Feige told the directors and actors not to read the comic books because they don't want them to be affected by the lore of the actual comics, right? And this is the same exact thing where if you're working on a Battlefield game, but you don't know what Battlefield is, you might want to go play one of the other 15 freaking games over the years just to get the feel of what Battlefield is. Because just pausing the game in a multiplayer game, you see a scoreboard. And you're like, oh, let's put that in there. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't need a scoreboard. Who needs a scoreboard, right? Let's put some cover on these maps. No, we don't need cover on these maps. We'll fix it later.
No, back up. Remember the reason they said they didn't want scoreboards? Do you remember the reason?
I forget.
I do.
I forget the reason. It was like they didn't want people to feel bad or some shit about.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. They didn't want the scoreboard because they didn't want people to feel bad if they were doing poorly.
Yeah. Amazing.
Get the fuck away from me, man. Get the fuck away from me.
All right. It's time for, I don't think I have one for Q&A, do I? I don't think we have Q&A. I have to make one for Q&A. It's time for Q&A. So if you have a question, if you'd like to ask us a question, I know it says put at 30Q in the thing, but we actually have a Q&A box. If you're in chat right now, you can click on the box above and it'll bring it up and say submit. So you can write inside there. Okay. So we have a couple of questions. You can ask questions and I'll read them as we go. Let me read the first one here. I think I can pin it. No, it doesn't let me pin it. Oh, select question. There we go. How do you think EA and DICE could implement AI into Battlefield? Would this be a reimagination of EA? Is looking for the next installment. Well, one, they already have AI inside the game. So you can actually play a mode inside of Battlefield 2042 right now against all AI. So I don't know if that's the reimagine, but I did say this before in the past. I said that
AI could code an old Battlefield game in less than a day.
Yeah.
You'd have a brand new game in like next week.
Yeah, I think the reimagine, I truly believe the reimagine is an offswing of the Battlefield universe, right? So like Battlefield's here and they're going to take this Battlefield and take like the specialists and make a separate game, and it'll be Battlefield, but it'll be a standalone Battlefield within the Battlefield universe. So they'll make a Battlefield that's Battlefield that we like the old school Battlefield, and then they'll make a Battlefield like Call of Duty, which is separate Battlefield, right? I think that's the reimagination of Battlefield. I think that's what they mean. What do you think about it, Starch? Good answer. Starch answer the question by shaking his head with his hands on his face.
Seriously. You do realize that when they used to release a Battlefield game, that the game was busy all the time until the next game came out? Like that's how it went.
Yeah.
Every time they came out with a Battlefield game, people would play that game every day, all the time, whenever they felt like it, for 2 years, waiting for the next Battlefield game to come out. And they were like, you know what? We don't want people playing the game for 2 years, waiting for our next game to come out. We're not making enough money. So let's try to make it a hero shooter,
Right.
change up the core of the game, and then when we fuck it up so bad that nobody wants to play it, call our customers stupid. That's what I heard.
They just didn't understand.
They didn't understand.
To answer Krebsy's question on top of that, what time period should they do the next game? I would like to see a Bad Company 3 is what I would like to see.
I think to cleanse the palate, and I'm going to use the same term, they need to man up, pick a villain, right? Because there are villains in the world.
Right.
Pick a villain, okay? Make it modern, right?
Like realistic modern, like you know what I mean?
Modern, like today.
Yeah. Well, no,
moderns means today.
Yeah, I got you. So
pick a villain.
You want a Battlefield 5, like
I
Battlefield 3 and 4. Yeah.
I want them to stop crying and pick a villain. You have to have good guys and bad guys.
This is why they should make GI Joe.
Listen, you can have, so it's okay to have the German army in the World War II version when it was Hitler, but it's not okay to pick a villain in the modern world.
Well, no,
because we're afraid we're going to offend somebody.
Exactly. This is why they need a Battlefield of GI Joe, because Cobra
I already
Cobra.
Solved the problem.
Yeah,
I already solved the
Cobra.
problem. I told you Battlefield GI Joe would sell like the most ridiculous games ever, and it could be a games of service.
Right.
If they wanted to do a Battlefield game like that, they could. But instead, the suits got together and said, "We want you to copy Fortnite. We want you to copy Overwatch." And I guarantee you, the developer's like, "I don't think that's going to work. We don't care if it's not going to work." They make money.
Right.
And we need to make money. See the premise of everything in a video game now is I want what they have, which is money, right? It's not about how good of a game can we make and how much of an IP can we corral and get people behind and love a game first. No.
Right.
It's copy them.
All they have to do to not offend somebody is in the beginning of the game, they go, acts of violence in the game is not representative of the people and the thing. That's all they have to do to cover their ass, because if you make Russia the bad guys, it'll be like, how dare you make us the bad guy, right? Like it just doesn't take place. This is why the past works in World War II, because that's history.
Sure, because it's clear. Because it's clear, good guy, bad guy.
Right.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I got one for you from Modern. Let's make it clear and let's offend everybody. Let's make it America versus China, and let's make America the bad guy.
Oh,
huh?
Nice.
Yeah. There's a little twist. Have everybody hate the guy that they're playing, and then be mad that you hate it. Perfect. Perfect.
I have a better one. I think they should make a Battlefield game where one side is Xbox fans and the other side is PlayStation ponies, and they all go against each other to see who's the best console. There you go.
Go next question. I could talk about G.I. Joe Battlefield forever. Next question.
All right. The next question is, this is based on the Asmongold reaction, but what are your thoughts on Activision Blizzard King making a new patent to record how you play the game and make the into NPCs for you or others? Now, we've actually
I watched it.
I didn't watch it, but we've talked about this in the past. I've spoke about how they're making AI basically mimic you to go against you, and then you think you're going against other people, but you're not, right? So look, this is bad, because
technology this is an easy thing to be worried about, right? Technology is moving faster than the people who make the laws can even understand it. Never mind come up with a law to defend against it.
Right.
They are going to use AI bots to study you, to figure out how you play a game, and then make you feel good about it one way and make you feel shitty about it another way, and at the same time try to sell you a solution inside the game. That is fact. That is what's going to happen. Now, it will be illegal eventually, but not before these companies make millions of dollars trying to figure out how to psychologically get you to press the buy now button. Okay? That is fact.
I mean,
that is fact.
They're already doing this. I said this a couple weeks ago when they're doing the anti-cheat thing with the hologram, where the cheater was seeing a person on the screen, but that person's a person on the map somewhere else, and they do a hologram of you, And that's exactly what it is, right? So they're mimicking you, learning your stats. They're learning the way you move to make the NPCs. Because remember, I called it back out in 2017, 2018 when Fortnite, and you run up to a person and you see the NPC go, and you're like, plays like that. I'm like, that looks so weird. I'm like, that's a bot. And everyone's like, no, there's no bots. There's no bots in the thing. And then like 2 months later, they're like, yeah, there's bots in the game, right? They're going to put bots in the game not only to make you feel better about yourself, because when you go up into a multiplayer game, a lot of people play multiplayer, but a lot more people don't play multiplayer. And the reason they don't play multiplayer is because they don't want to be shit talked to. They don't want to be hurt. They don't want to be offended, or they don't want to feel like they suck. So if they go into the game and you just load into a matchmaking and you think they're real people, and then you're owning people, it makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel better about yourself. You're like, man, I'm actually pretty good. If I go to Fortnite right now and I haven't played in a long time and I go into a map, I guarantee you I win that match. Why? Because they put me into a lobby with more bots than actual people, and my percentage of winning goes through the roof. Because if I win, I'm going to play more. And if I lose, I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. But if I win, I'm like, oh man, I haven't played in a while. Get off the cobwebs. I feel good. I just got 25 kills. Watch out, right? And that's what they do. So when they do this patent type stuff, this is to sell you better guns, which we already talked about. This is to sell you cosmetics, because if you go up against somebody, you see the NPC with this cool mask and thing, you're like, what did he kill me with? He killed me with that gun, and then all of a sudden you get that gun, and then you get that gun, and now you're wrecking face because they're putting you in lobbies with other people with lower fucking tiers, and then you owning those people, and you feel better about yourself until they put you in another thing, and then you're sucking, and then they put you back in the other one, and then you feel good, right? Because you spend money. This is it. This is bad. This is bad. I haven't watched it. I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it tonight or tomorrow and see what Asmongold talks about. But yeah, it's bad, right? The patents like this suck ass. And this is the way people are going to do, because it's not about how many people are playing. It's how many people you think are playing, how you feel in the game. So when you look at a game and they go, there's 10 million people that logged in, but you look at the concurrent player base and it says, oh yeah, there's 1 million people playing online, but there really isn't. Right? That's to make you feel better that the game is not dead. When you go in there, the NPCs are playing against you, and you feel most people don't care. They're like, oh yeah, I played last night. I won 3 games, 3 matches. Meanwhile, the guy who's ranked is sweating his ass off against other people.
But once again, there's no laws in place.
No.
See, you can say there's 1 million people concurrently playing, but they don't tell you if they're humans playing. Right? This is what I'm saying, that the rules that are happening right now are not going to be able to catch up to all the nonsense that they're trying to push as fast as possible.
Right.
Number one, the people who are in charge of listening to this industry and making rules based around it don't understand them. Number one. Never mind get enough people to understand it to be able to vote on a bill to pass in order to protect consumers. This is something I preached about 6 months ago and 5 years prior. We need Customer Protection Act in this industry.
There is no
there needs to be somebody who's young in the tech field, who got pissed off and is a lawyer, who has got to try to start things up, because what's about to happen with AI is going to make everyone.
There's no difference. There's no difference with this patent than there is with the writer's strike that's going on right now against AI. There's no difference with the actors that are complaining about AI taking their jobs, right? Because they scan them in. It's the same as Tesla using while you drive. Okay, it's recording all of your stuff.
Everything.
When you make a right turn or left turn, when you stop, it's all being downloaded. It's mapping out everything. You're doing all the work for the thing, so it learns and adapts. That's what it is. It's the exact same thing with the video game, right? There was Bad Neighbor. I forget what game it was, where you're that creepy neighbor, you go inside the house and he tries to find you or whatever. Okay. This was like last year or 2 years ago, we talked about this, where the AI learned where you would hide. So like you come in the room and you go in the closet, and then he would walk past the closet and would never search the closet, right? But then he would hear you, and then he would go into the closet. And then if you failed and you tried it again, the first place he would go is check the closet, because that's where you were last time. And then you have to go different places, so you can't do the same thing over and over. Well, the more people that played that game, the smarter the AI got, right? So it made it more difficult.
And that's them testing.
Hello, neighbor. Thank you, Krebsy.
And that's them testing it.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
The last question, which is, I don't really know if it's a question quest. I mean, you typed it. It says playing Final Fantasy 14 on Game Pass. What?
Okay, so hang on. I want to make sure I get this right. Is 14 the
online?
The MMO?
It's the online, the MMO.
Is it the MMO?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I love Final Fantasy, and I want to try it. So if it comes out on Game Pass, yes. If it comes out but it's not on Game Pass, I'll wait for Game Pass. But if it never comes out on Game Pass and it's still sold for Xbox, I'll get it on discount. I think I want to try it.
Yeah,
I want to try it.
All right.
I want to try it.
If it doesn't come to Game Pass and it's there and it's on discount, I'll pick it up because it's an MMO. I don't have time, right?
Right.
I don't have time. That's the biggest thing with MMOs.
The issue is learning the game and time.
Right. If it's on Game Pass, 100%, I'll give it a shot. Right.
Yeah, because you don't care about you not paying.
I'm not investing any
for it. Right.
I'm not investing any kind of money into it. Right. If it's a game I pay full price for, like I did for Hogwarts, or I did for Jedi Survivor, or I did for Diablo, I'm gonna put the time in because I spent money on that and I want to get my money's worth. But if I don't spend anything on it, it's on Game Pass, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. I'm already paying the $16 or whatever it is now for Ultimate, so why not? You know what I mean? All right, that will do it for the Q&A section. Thank you very much for the people that submitted for the questions. Don't be afraid to ask a question. It doesn't have to be of a topic that we did, but it would help. But you could ask us questions about something else, a game coming out or whatnot. So episode 359 is in the can. Next week, Sarge, it's episode 360. That's 360. We actually are only 5 episodes away, Sarge, where someone could watch every single episode, one a day, for an entire year.
I'm a little concerned by that. Have we done enough episodes now? We've done almost one every day for an entire year.
That's right. We're 5 away, which we would have already passed, but your computer blew up and we missed a couple episodes. But we have enough episodes where if you listen to one episode a day for the entire year, right? We've been doing this since May 24th, okay, of 2015. Okay, that's how many. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we've done 9 seasons, as it says up on top, 9 seasons of this. So 360 is next week. We do appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us. Outsider.
Isn't there 2 seasons a year, though?
No, it's just one season. I do it from the beginning. We started halfway through 15. So technically, we should start our next season, but I started at the beginning of the year. So technically, we're at like 8. Right? But
I don't.
Outsider.
I don't know what to do right now with my computer. I don't know what to do. At this particular moment, I don't even know what to play when I turn you off right now. I don't even know what to do.
Earlier in the show, I think it was Outsider, was here, and he said that he didn't know I did a podcast until just now, and yet we've been doing it for 9 years. So I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us, and I'm glad you found us. Make sure you come back every single week. Like I said, episode 359 is in the can. You can watch us every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on 30 NSG. It's a podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. If you like us, make sure you hit that like button down below. Go above and beyond that, you become a subscriber to our channel here. We do Monday through Thursday. We do a morning show of just reading the news, and we have conversations with live chat if you want to be a part of that. Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Come on by. Also, Monday through Wednesday, we do Let's Plays. So we play a bunch of different games. I pick whatever, and we have a conversation while we play, just laid back, relax. And then on Thursday nights, we do this podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if any of this interests you, make sure you share, like, subscribe, and then become a member. It helps us out and keeps this channel going. So appreciate you. We'll see you guys on the next one. I might be doing a bonus stream tomorrow. We're going to be playing some Transformers War of Cybertron. We have it.
Did you find it?
I got it. I paid $45 for it.
$45.
$45. It was an open copy. But
instruction manual?
No, nothing. Just the disc.
Just the disc?
Just the disc. Yeah.
Not even a box?
No box. Open item. It would have been more if it was with the box and the instruction manual, but they didn't have it. So yeah. But then I got it for free on PC as well. So
just so you know, if you're looking for stuff like that, the first place you want to go look, when I lived in California for those couple years, there were 2 or 3 game places in LA that they have every game.
we have
It's
one
like a
here.
giant, it's like a giant library, and they buy and sell like eBay does.
Yeah. That's what this
But
this
they
place
have
does.
everything.
It was a mom and
Yeah,
pop shop. It's called
Yeah.
Hudson's Video Game, and I thought there was only one location, but they have 3 locations. They have one in Altamont, they have one in Oviedo, and they have one in Daytona. It's a small mom and pop shop, and they have tons and tons of old games, and whatnot. And it was the only one that they had. And I went to a guy I saw an offer up, and I went to his place, and he gave me the disc, and it was just scratched to hell. And I was like, I don't want to take a chance because I can't return it or anything, right? So I was like, no, thank you. And then I started looking. I called and I said, you guys have this? And they're like, yeah, we have a copy. It's on. We sell it on Amazon, right? We have one copy left. We're selling it on Amazon for $50. And I was like, well, can I get it in store? They're like, yeah, we'll just take it off the thing. So I drove there, I looked at it. They put it in the Xbox for me, played it for like 10 minutes, and they said, you want it? I said, yeah, and I took it, $45. So, and I got I wanted to collect it. That's why I called you and was like, do you have it? Bring it up when you come up this month. But then I was just like, I'll buy it. So I like the game a lot. So so that's it. All right, chat. We'll see you guys on the next one. I think I'm on the show with Lono tomorrow, noon, 12:15. I have no idea what we're talking about, but I'm sure it'll be a great show. So make sure you tune in, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Game on, guys.
They're 2 brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.